Alex de Veselio Eminentio.
Hemizmak sağ, itiraf, sırası demosu. Teymalar var böyle bir gözmüş. Çıkışım onun genel bir şey gibi şey. Not far, can't ever something. Okay.
Welcome back, everyone. Let me turn the music up after. I don't know which I prefer. I'm still making up my mind over which transition to use, guys. Howdy, says Throttle. Reading backwards, hello, Kurt Curtis, and hello, Mr. Fernicar, Battlecruiser Operational. Liked and subscribed. Don't forget to like the show, guys. Anyway, starting off, welcome back. It is 8 o'clock on the 26th of September, and we did things backwards today. It's a Friday. Invention is what we're going to be looking at for the first part of the show. I've got my coffee. I hope you're all relaxed. I got a whole bunch of updates outside of this first segment. I like to lead off the show with interesting stuff, and I think maybe it's time we talk a little bit about invention. Now, I will point out my voice probably sounds a bit funny today, and that would be because don't worry, I'm okay. That would be, hang on, let me try and do that one more time. Okay, hang on. Okay, it was clean. Alright, so anyway, I've been inventing. So, I mean, let's just, let's see if we can do this, right? Can we do it without it exploding? How about we do something like this? Surely that's damaged now. It's a nightmare, guys. Basically, I've been mucking about with helium today. So, yeah, stuff will likely be exploding in the background. Don't worry, it's not flammable, you know. I bet if I just do that there... Yeah, this will work. Right, so if I just do that... It's going to explode in my face. You watch this. Come on. Rubber's so annoying. You know, like it pops really easily, but then when you want to give it just a little tear... There we go, right. Hear this? That would be helium. So, you ready for something funny? This will be a limited edition sound for the show, right? Whoa. Let's give it to... Okay, you're not going to hear me sound like that very often on the show. So, congratulations, it's a one-time deal. That would be the finest British helium. Okay, we're returning to normal. So if you hear any loud bangs on the show tonight, don't worry. Oh, there's still some left in there. It seems like a waste. See, what I've been doing is I've been doing research into lifting technology with helium. Because, you know, helium, it's just a fun thing, right? We're just being silly. But we did actually achieve our goal of lifting a camera. Lifting a camera with a helium balloon. It's not really an invention, but I'll show you what makes it interesting. Alright, are we done? Come on. He's just there. He was just look. A show-stopping balloon. Like... Anyway. Excuse me. Well, you never know what you're going to get on the show. That's all I'm going to say. All right. So we've got like 25 more of these which have not popped yet. They're just bundled together on the ceiling. Obviously, I needed data that wasn't from an AI. Because the thing about an AI, right, is he's going to like lie and estimate and gaslight you. So we actually have raw data now. Which was obtained at cost. Now, you are glad to say you can pick up a helium tank for about £40. So that will fill you 50 balloons for a party. Okay, so we're not talking like industrial. It's a small thing. But we were able to actually set it up and get the camera to fly and record, and it works. It's fine. It works. Now, obviously, they do this with expensive cameras, but none of them use a 360 setup. They all use expensive cameras with... triple gimbal setups, right? And also they don't use bloody party balloons. They use like, you know, a blimp or a weather balloon of some description, but they're like $3,000 and we didn't need that much weight. You know, they'll pick up like a lot of weight, you know. Essentially, the innovation is allowing well, I'll tell you what it is, because I'm not going to patent it. In fact, part of the business plan for this is that it gets leaked, which is something I want to see. The real invention isn't the camera, and I'll get to that, and hopefully I can do it inside the next 10 minutes. So I'm going to set a limit on this, because I know it's the main title of the show, but if people watch it, this is the first thing they get, and if they skip through the first 15 minutes, well, that's on them. I can't help you, guy. But the point is, it's very simple. Let's just see if I'm at the end. Wait. Ah, yes, we've got the different versions. Okay, so what's that? V15? There's 15 versions, guys. I think I'm going to skip to the last one. I think I did actually get to the end there. So the triple redundancy. Because I'm a qualified commercial drone pilot, so I know what you need for operating procedure for it comes to commercial use for a compliant flight operations manual, right? So, what's that say at the bottom there? Is that what it says at the bottom there? Bottom line, massive commercial potential. Yeah, I've missed something. I've missed a bit. We missed a bit. Massive commercial potential. Right, okay, here we go. I just want to get it into the file so we've got it all in the log, you know? Obviously, I'm using my system here, so yes. But yeah, essentially what it is drones have legal restrictions, flight restrictions, regulations. You know, you've got to have a certain insurance. You've got to have. There's lots of rules when it comes to drones. Now, balloons aren't drones. So even though they're technically covered by lots of stuff, technically we already broke it, Dragon. We popped a bunch of helium balloons at the start of the show. So we've already broke it. It doesn't work no more. It doesn't have enough balloons to lift the camera, so it's broken. Congratulations. What are we doing? Tethered balloon 360-degree camera system. It follows you around. You control it with the tethers. But anyway, that's not the point. I just wanted to introduce you to something else, which is a little... I hope it doesn't... Well, I'm sure you guys will figure it out. So, let's see. We've done that. I've created the comprehensive document. Right, so I need to copy this. So this will be my last part. And we're going to want this to be a question. And hook it up. And then we have the SOP plan. Copy that. That's a green. And then we've just got documents. So obviously there's the V15 plan, which is like, what does it say here? Triple redundancy balloon 360 camera system. So the invention isn't the balloon. I just want to point that out. Even though it kind of is, there is an invention in that balloon design, all right? But that's not actually the real that's not the real invention. And I think you'll see that what I've done is quite sneaky. Now, I'm not saying I'm going to do this, but I'm going to say that anyone could do this. Anyway. Okay. You know, I'm not about to start changing my whole life to make a balloon camera system, alright? But the idea is solid. So let me have a look and show you this. Copy that. Okay, so we need to work out... That's the first one. And then I said, I notice you're speaking about high altitude applications. So connection leads to, right, it's this guy here goes in there. So actually that was at this stage. And then we start working on it, right? You know. So aerial photography. Triple redundancy, there it is. So this one is coming off of that green there. So yeah, so it's simple. Take that off the green. Yep, triple redundancy system goes from there. So just chuck that in there. Okay. I'm not really too fussed about it being like super consistent. I just want to make sure it's all there. So we've got the CAA compliance document. Like I said, that's the standard operating procedure for flight. So if you want to do commercial operation, you need one of these. So we put that there. Now, I want to talk about the impact, because people go, oh, I thought AI was going to create all these jobs. No, you're going to create those jobs. AI doesn't create anything. You do it. People create new jobs with AI. That's not the same. AI doesn't just magic stuff. We know, because we're in the AI space, we know AI doesn't just magic stuff out of thin air. Somebody actually has to do it. Top Gear did do this. Did Top Gear do this? Maybe, but they probably used an SLR or a proper camera with a gimbal system, which is not what I'm talking about. Okay? I just want to make that ultimately clear. This isn't putting a DSLR or a video camera with a gimbal like a drone. That's not what this is. This is a 360 camera. So you have two fisheye, you have two backward, opposite facing cameras in a suite, like an Insta 360 or a DJI 360. Yeah. That's what's hanging off the balloon on a pole to stop it spinning. There's a whole bunch of innovations that all go together to make this work. But the point I'm trying to make is that's not the innovation. The innovation is bait. Why? Because China will copy it. Okay? And when China copies it, there'll be a bunch of little startups trying to learn how to do this legally. At which point you step in with the SOPs and the freaking training courses for £1,000 a head with a yearly certification scheme. So the money was never in the thing. You know that's going to get stolen. You know you can't patent it. Copyright's a joke. But you could do a startup and train everyone in your local country when this inevitably gets stolen. That's what I'm talking about. So it's like there's a grander scheme here that's got more. I'm not trying to sell balloons and helium. But there's already balloons and helium. It's deliberately done in a way that makes people look at this and go, oh yeah, I could make a couple of widgets and sell them on eBay, right? But it's not the widget. It's the fact that suddenly you've created an industry. This is an example for discussion. I'm not saying I'm going to do this. Sometimes people get like incredibly literal with the things I say. So the point I'm trying to make is you invent something, right? You invent something. Here's your risk assessment. So you invent something and you open source it, okay? And then big company comes in, steals it, produces it cheaper than you can, blah, blah, blah. They're now on eBay as a copy product. Boo-hoo. I've heard lots of people cry about that because it's getting your IP stolen is rough in the jungle business. It's not something you want to experience, right? But you probably don't have the money to get all your copyrights and trademarks in order. I know I don't. Okay? So what I'm trying to say is that AI is disruptive, not just in ways like, oh, you can invent a thing and then potentially make money. That's a one-dimensional way of looking at things, yeah? What you want to look at is like the four-dimensional chess type setup. So, for example, I had this idea of a ground-breaking invention. It's a 360 camera attached to a balloon. That's all it is. China will make that cheaper than me, and there'll be kits. And then you've got influencers are using this thing. You've got companies wanting to do survey on construction sites. Because you can get to places, no RF interference is going to interfere with your drone. No, oh, you're near Heathrow Airport, that's a no-fly zone. You can't even launch. So this gets around a bunch of regulatory crap with a low-tech solution. Now, is it cheap? No. Is it more than you'll get paid for doing a job? Yes. That's all that matters. If they can do the job for less than $100 and then they can charge $1,000 for it, they'll pay $1,000 to train a guy to know what he's doing. And then you have certificates and it's legal and it's all on Like I said, we have a risk assessment for our triple redundancy balloon photography system. Yeah? Chief Safety Officer, approved by Operations Director. This is as like a bulletproof as it gets. You'll get commercial insurance. So what I'm trying to say is the invention was not about making money off of a widget. It was off of giving away the widget in a way, so that when the industry inevitably appears, right? Because it's basically drones without the cost of drones, right? When this appears, you are poised and ready to be the #1 national educational academy that's going to do certification. And if anyone turns around and says, oh, well, who the hell are you? You go, we invented it. We wrote the book. We open sourced it. We gave it away. That thing you're buying now, that's based on our technology we gave away. And then people go, oh, well, it's just a balloon. You say, well, but we've got the commercial plan here, right? Like I said, if I take a look at the SOPs, it's probably actually more important. Like I say, you look at this. This is as bulletproof as it gets. Operations conducted under the SOP comply with the Air Navigation Order C8 CAP 393, ANO Article 167, and CAP 1789. It's basically bulletproof. Like, obviously, whenever you're doing anything like this, you should always get a lawyer to look at something if you plan on making this like the core of your business. But, you know, when I went and did my drone certification, this is exactly what it was. It's exactly what it was. Okay? And yeah, anybody can do this, so you'll have competition. But that's not my point. My point is that it didn't exist. And obviously this is all a hypothetical, right? It doesn't exist. Do you know what I mean? But it could exist. And the point is that the AI has proved it all, got it all ready for me. So I've come in here and I've said, I've envisaged a groundbreaking invention to discover. I need to discover if this exists. We also did deep research to discover if it already exists. So what? It turns around and says, actually, no, this doesn't already exist. Because you have systems which can do printing, can do photography and all this, but they are much, much larger. Look, weather balloon. You want to buy a weather balloon for 6 to 30 grand? That's not what we're talking about. Do you see what I mean? So it is we're going for commercially viable product, fill a gap in the market, DJI. They're 200 grams now. They don't need to be aimed. You know what I mean? It doesn't need to be aimed. You just put it near what you're trying to film. So you can totally hang it from a balloon. Anyway. Tethered balloon market, blah, blah, blah. Significant market gap for commercial tethered balloons. Okay, specifically designed for 360 cameras. So if you remember a long time ago, there was like a UFO. You could buy a remote control UFO, and it was basically a helium balloon foil. And it would have little fans on. And what I'm doing is I'm not using the fans, because then it's not a drone. Think about it. Doesn't come under the drone regs if it's not a drone, right? It'll still come under about weight, right? It'll still come under weight, but it's not a drone, so they can't, you know, because, yeah, anyway. They'll probably get you on payload. I bet they'll get you on payload. They'll be like, oh, well, it's an object which is 200 grams, so we'll classify it as that, right? But that's not a thing yet. Anyway. You've got to understand the hypothetical when you're talking about a gap in the market, because it's like, what are you talking about? It doesn't exist. That's because you have to create it. So if I look at this here, the Desert Star and Skyhook system from Alsop Helikites, yeah, gives you a remote control Zeppelin for 5 grand, 5,000 euros. And it has a 2 kilogram capacity, which is targeting DSLRs. You see, DSLRs with gimbals. Which makes sense because you can like zoom in and out and stuff, and you get a much more, you know. But this is cheaper, closer proximity. Right? You'd have it over a pool party, or over a wedding event, or over a nightclub event, a rave, or over there's all kinds of stuff you could do this. Anyway. Smart balloon system, legal drone alternative. So it already exists, but it's on the large scale. Look. 500 to 1,000 for a kit, 4,000 to 6,000 for a professional system. It's all for DSLRs. There's nothing there for prosumer, right? So I said, I noticed you're speaking about high altitudes, you know, we're talking about low level. So I'm like, okay. And then I said, add the pole, right? So 50 centimeter pole stops it from spinning. It doesn't matter, by the way. I tested it. If you hang an Insta360 from a piece of string and spin it and then watch the video playback, you can see that the camera is going round and round and round. But it actually is okay. The picture's okay. You just see some weird lens reflections that don't make sense because you're like, what am I looking at? And then you realize, oh, it's a spinning camera, which is like motion tracked to one spot. And I think it's a pretty cool effect. Maybe I should film all my videos like that. So triple redundancy design, in other words, 3 balloons. So that way you can actually insure it, because the problem is, where are we? Triple redundancy. It's all about safety. There we go. Professional service providers. Redundant design. Client confidence. If we look in the actual plan here. So 3 36-inch party balloons provide 1 kilo of lift. Guys, didn't you hear me a minute ago when I said it's $6,000 to get a kilo of lift? And then, but then you can just get 3 36-inch. So just to give you a rough idea, party balloons are usually 12-inch. So you're talking about twice the size. So 3 big balloons is enough, which is interesting. Or is it though? And this is something else I want to come and address, because you have to do your own. You got to test it, right? When do we get the mosquito-sized drones? Never, because the government are having too much fun. I shouldn't say stuff like that. But no, the answer is never. You've got to build it yourself, though. You can see, we're at a point in time where you will never be able to buy the things you can build yourself at home. Just go check endless examples on YouTube for proof. You know, like people deciding, I'm going to build the thing, and then researching it and going to. So anyway, there's the spec. Total system weight, including the camera. I don't know how the hell they've managed to get to 680 grams from 200, but maybe I should weigh whatever that is, that mess, and see what it weighs. But yeah, I did it in 32 balloons. 32 balloons at 30 centimeter or 12 inch. So it says 3 36-inch, right? And it took me. I mean, the balloons are obviously smaller. See, this is the thing. There's variables, right? Wind resistance. Wind resistance 0. You need a tether. Wind resistance. Okay. So here we have the setup here. We have balloon 1, 2, and 3. And then, I mean, you can connect them if you want, but whatever. And then they will naturally pull together anyway. Do you know what I mean? There was a weather vane in the design just to stop it from spinning, but in the end we just used the pole, so you can actually either or for that one. The camera mount is actually, I think it's less than 20 grams at the moment, but I reckon you could probably get it even less than that if you used carbon fiber 3D printing. The most of the weight is the 360 camera, because it just is, you know. And like I said, the triple redundancy means you can make the argument, how long is the cable? It's not a cable, and it's as long as you need it to be. It's as long as you need it to be. Because obviously you have to take on the weight of that too. I would like to point something out though, because a lot of the time I was like, oh, the weight of the cable, right? And I was like, because the higher you go, the more weight it is. Well, get this. I heard someone say there was a hole in his backyard and he put 16 miles of fishing line into the thing and couldn't find the bottom. And I was like, how much would that actually weigh? Because it sounded a little bit unbelievable. And it says to build one massive reel with this is for a different project, guys. But one massive reel for 16 miles of line, it would need, so 16 miles of fishing line, yeah? About 15 kilograms. That's actually less than I thought it was going to be, guys. I mean, it says that the spool body is 5 kilos, so maybe it's 10, you know, but 10 kilos of reel, that would be the biggest. I still don't believe his stuff. By the way, just the guy that claimed to have done this, don't believe him, because it would have been a record. Like, it would have been a world record, okay? If he had actually done that, that would have been a world record, and it's not. So he didn't, he didn't report it? The guy with the deep hole didn't he's boasting about how deep the hole is, but he never got the record for the longest fishing reel. I don't know, whatever, I don't know. It says here, look at this. 16 miles of fishing line is an industrial quantity that would require dozens of reels. It's like the size of a car tire. He's not trying to cast with it, though. But anyway, the point is that even at the cheapest, it would be like a couple of grand's worth of fishing line for 16 miles. But going back to what we were talking about, yeah, going back to what we were on about there. What? It's as long as it needs to be, but it does have a maximum tether length in the security, you know, in the plan. Do you know what I mean? 60 meters. It's for safety. It's not a technical. Perhaps grounding search can find the record, Guinness. Yeah. Anyway, it's already done it, hasn't it? That's where it got the information from. But my point is, here it is. This is all of the stuff you need to run a commercial business, which is doing balloon-based roof survey or whatever it is that you're doing. The thing is, my plan wasn't to build that. The invention is the business side of it, right? The invention isn't there. The invention isn't the thing. Because it's going to get stolen. What, you think China can't make a thing that attaches 3 balloons to a camera cheaper than you? Of course they can. You know? Dragon, I'm appreciating you asking me what grams of fishing line I'm using, because the more you have, the more it weighs, which takes off your lift. But we already covered that. We already covered that a minute ago. I'm guessing you didn't hear it. What's that? Bell Mel's whole saga. There you go, Afix. Yes, that's the same guy. I heard the beginning of it and I went, 16 miles of fishing line. And I had to immediately go and find out what that actually looks like. So yeah, Afix, you know what I was talking about with the 16 miles thing. So that's an unrelated thing. But it is kind of related because obviously you have to account for it. But like I just said, Dragon, if you were, I don't know, maybe you just weren't looking at the screen at that exact moment in time, which is fair. It does mention the difference in weight for the different materials. Somewhere. It's in here. It's in here. You know, it's like, oh, which one do you want to use? Look, prototype cost analysis, carbon fiber pole. It'll come through and it'll show you, oh, the tether cords. We recommend this because it's this. Yeah, the information's there. The information's there. I'm just trying to find out where it was. Tether, multi-tether, independent tethers, forces, tension, tether tension. Does it say what? Tether management, carbon fiber. No, that's the hub. Tether management, 3-point line tether. Tether control, here we go. High strength braided fishing line, 50-pound test. 150 meters total, 50 meters, weight 45 grams. Manual ground-based winch system. This is the big one, though. This is the big boy, see? Because the thing is, I was like, hey, we need to make it smaller. But yeah, it's all in there. It's all in there. Which is kind of funny, like, because what I'm saying is, this is bait. This isn't a business. Oh, you okay? Great, nice. Oversharing again. So anyway, yeah, basically, this isn't actually this is an invention, but the invention is bait, and really the invention is the business where you train everyone who's now trying to buy this new shoveling system, right? There's the gold mine thing that everyone's trying to buy, and and then you actually use AI to turn it into a training course with a certification system so that the operators of the camera is qualified, right? Because that's what it is. You know, if something goes wrong, he's got bulletproof paperwork to cover him, but if he doesn't, then he's a mug. And that's why training courses exist. So yeah, that's pretty much it. I set myself a limit, but people ask questions, so we had a little bit more of time on that one. But anyway, we're done with this. The point I was trying to make was that the disruption in AI isn't AI, it's people using AI. The business ideas aren't AI, it's people using AI. And then obviously, you know what I'm going to say next, don't you? The job creation was you. When you had an idea and built something with AI, or someone had an idea and built something with AI. And so then I was saying, well, this is an idea that anybody could have, right? And it applies to any AI idea. So if you've just seen like there's a new thing, you can immediately turn that into commercial product with training courses. There it is. That's what it was. That was the whole point of that one. Oh yeah, balloon survey. So that's one more for the research. And then we can get back to something a little bit more regular. NML archive. There it is. There it is. All right. Create new thing. It's going to be balloon survey. C.text. Yeah, sure. Just get on with it. You better create it as well. What the? There we go. So that's invention. I got a couple of things I've invented, but obviously I'm not just going to go blasting them on a live stream. But we made this one and proved that it was actually viable. It does work. I'll tell you why no one will ever do it, though. I'll tell you why no one will do it. Helium prices. Helium prices aren't good. You'd actually be surprised the cost of helium. And this is another reason why, okay. Some people tell me that energy is scarce and that's why prices are so high. Well, if that's the case, then why is it cheaper to buy a £1,000 drone and recharge it up on electricity and fly it for a couple of hours? Why is that cheaper than helium gas in a balloon? Why is that cheaper? It shouldn't be. If you actually do it on paper, like energy, the electric is way more energy. Like ridiculous amount more energy. Like if you work it out in like joules and newtons and, you know, forces, not money. You know what I mean? Take money out of the equation and look at the actual physics. The balloon is way better at lifting the small weight than the electric motor spinning a fan with a battery and all this nonsense. Yeah, way better. But the fact is that commercial capitalism makes the battery cheaper. Yeah. Because so many people buy them, they're produced at such scale that makes them cheaper. You know, all this other stuff. So ultimately, what you end up with is the drone is cheaper, actually. Yeah? Isn't that funny? I just think it's kind of funny. It says helium supply chain is the cost. Yeah, exactly. But yes, exactly. Exactly as we've... yes. Pressure containers are heavily regulated compared to the drone. Pressured containers? You mean the tubes, right? You mean like the what? Wait, sorry. Heavily regulated? What, you mean like this? This one? Do you mean this thing here? Oops! Oh no! They're heavily regulated. I better be careful. Whoa. I It's heavily regulated. Yeah. No, it's just that there's no reason for helium to be in this. There's just no reason. Like, name a product that uses helium apart from a party balloon. No? I appreciate there's a bit of a lag, so, you know, I'm not going to get an instant response, but without being dramatic, there isn't really much, you know what I mean? So it's like, what's it for? Helium in a large pressure vessel is a regulated thing. I would say that pure supply and demand is what makes it so expensive. Like, why? Who's buying helium apart from clowns? Seriously, who's the clowns? Clowns are a customer for helium. Anybody else? Me, when I want to do some random science experiment? Oh, parents, when they're doing a birthday party as well. Parents as well, not just clowns. Clowns can be parents too, guys. You know, clowns are people. Not the small ones. Well, I don't know, it's not that small. The fact is that helium, it doesn't explode. So like a large pressure vessel, you know, it's not actually explosive. Yeah, it's definitely the supply chain. I know. We're going round and round. It's definitely the supply chain. Like, I would say there's millions of customers. Yeah, there's millions of customers for the battery, obviously, and the motor, the electric motor, but not so much when it comes to helium. I think there might be like industrial application of helium because it's inert, and but there's probably better noble gases. And then what else? There's also I think you can get like heavy helium, but that's like super science industry. It's not, you know, again, it's like such a small amount of usage. You know, maybe there's like some super cooled helium that they use for something like super niche. I don't know. The point is, it's not mass market. Yeah, and the supply chain. It's like there was a time when they were going to do Zeppelins. Helium trade is worth 15 billion. Yeah. There's definitely like, I reckon coolant. I think they do super. They do super cooled helium, liquid helium coolant for like fusion. I don't know. I've heard something like, because obviously that's good, isn't it? But I think all of it goes into like science and medicine. I don't think. Yeah, it's all industry. Yeah, no consumer. But that's because the thing is, remember, I brought this up because I often say that if something really was scarce, you wouldn't be allowed it. I was surprised I was able to buy that canister actually and like throw it around my room. It's empty now, by the way. We used it all up. But the point is that, you know, if something really was scarce and really was running out and they really did need it for industry and stuff, you wouldn't be able to buy it. Or you'd be able to buy it at such a high price. Like, that was literally, we got enough to fill 30 balloons for £40. So that means that each balloon has got more than £1 worth of gas in it. That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. This blows my mind. But that's just the way of the world, right? Everything goes up. But you've got to remember, money's just a number. It's just a number they put on stuff. You know, money is just a number. Like, you know. Thurnicar says, since it's just one atom, it's easy to get it from stars if you were alien. Yeah, helium's nuts, but it's because it is actually scarce. Now, there was a time when they were going to do Zeppelins, and then the Hindenburg blew up, because hydrogen is better. Do you know what I mean? Hydrogen is way better. But unfortunately, because of Hindenburg, they stopped doing airships, and then all of the helium airships got, you know, it was super scarce. I think that there was like one place in the world it came from or something, and the Germans owned it. It was something like that, and they like literally wouldn't let the helium. There was like an embargo. You weren't allowed to sell helium to the Allies or something for, I don't know, I can't remember now. I remember there was being a thing about it though, because they were a super weapon in their day. because they could fly higher than any plane at the time. So you literally couldn't touch them. Most abundant element in the universe is hydrogen. Yeah, the thing is, I think it's something to do with helium is hard to find because it doesn't bind, but it mixes. So it's hard to purify or something. I can't remember what the. I'm sure you can look it up with AI right now. So you could. Do you know what? You could fact check every single little thing I said and then correct me on it, and then I would just be like, yeah, but I actually used my brain, and so on. So I'm obviously going to be slower than a GPT. Maybe I should just use the GPT instead of my brain. Come on, what do we got? All right, I think we're just about ready to give you the update on the ZV Lite. ZV6 Lite. No, spoilers. ZV5 Lite. That's right, we're on ZV5. So this has actually been pushed, so I don't need to show you it here. I can go to the main site, show it there. Yeah. All right. Oh. Drift does nitrous confirmed. Well, to be honest, I've got the rooms full of helium tonight. So it probably sounds a little bit strange, I don't know. Because it's just slowly leaking, like the room is just full of... I wonder if it'd be better just to let it disperse and rush up through the ceiling now. I'll do it during coffee time. Okay, so let's see. Alright, this is the 0 Vector 5 Cognitive Engine, mixture of lobes architecture. I've made some changes to it since the last time you saw it. Obviously, the last time I showed it off, I just put in the sonar with perplexity search. I'm going to be using Sonar Pro. Oh! Do you know what I forgot to do? I forgot to update my... Oh, no! I've got... I forgot to top up my Anthropic. I've got no API. I've got no API. I can't show it to you. I can't show you. I've got no API. So what do we do when we've got no API? Can't use it. Shame. Okay. I'll just explain what the main change is. Hey, do you reckon? Hang on. Surely it's going to give an error, right? Hello. You've got no money, mush. Failed. Yeah, failed. So anyway, what I added in the latest version is actually quite cool. The frontal lobe now receives its system prompt from inner thoughts. So when you use this, it has a dynamic system prompt now. So it thinks about what the system prompt for the frontal lobe should be with this web search result, its initial thoughts as well, and the user intent captured from the request. It then thinks about it and gives an answer, which he then thinks about again a third time before actually answering in naturally spoken TTS. For some reason he actually says, I'll answer that in a naturally spoken way. He shouldn't say that, but he does. So I can't explain that. Occipital lobe is obviously for vision when you put an image into it. It's a bit clunky. It could work better. I was thinking about giving him the ability to make images at that time, but that went into a different project. I do think it's important that he has the ability to see, but it's kind of a little bit vague of how he actually uses it. So Afix says it's the most common noble gas, and so it's used for cooling and regulation of rocket engines and aerospace. And that's what they messed up, and that's what messed up on the Boeing space capsule. There you go. Thanks, Afix. But yeah, so when you download it, it gives you the full trace now as well. I can't show it to you, lol. But there's normally a pop-out which will show you all the thinking, the system prompt. Do you know what? I might have a screenshot of when it was working. And then I could show you. Yes. It's a, whatchamacallit. I blasted my entire credit limit and I haven't topped it up. Normally I just do it on the show, but it needs a little bit more jiggery pokery to get it working, so I cannot do that. Inner thoughts, create system prompt direct, dynamically for the frontal lobe. So that's, that is what it is. Okay, well, anyway, I guess we'll move on to the next segment. Steak and Eggs came out. So did Slide. Slide is the sort of soul stuff, and then blues, soul blues, and then not blue soul, so blues. And then the black Steak and Eggs is my 80s. The first track, Sunglasses in the Dark, is an obvious homage to Sunglasses After Midnight, which is a famous song from the 80s. And then the rest is just him having a bad day. The whole album is just him having a bad day. But it sounds good. I like it. Gerard Benj says, I often throw the same frontal lobe error, but mine is solved using caffeine. Yep. I can relate. I can relate to that in a big way. All right. Let's spend the last 15 minutes giving you, because this is all finished, by the way. This is all finished. There is no cerebellum in ZV5 Lite. There is a ZV5, which has the memory and persona stuff, but it's not released because it runs 100% locally, and I'm trying to develop that for use with Olama. So then you'll be able to use, different Olama models for each of the various lobes. All right. And in theory, because the thing is, I built it out just recently, and I don't think it really... It's very strange. It's almost like he forgot what he was doing halfway, got obsessed with something else, did that, and then when he came back to doing the other thing, so basically he got lost in the sauce, and I'm just going to start again. But yeah, it's weird. Like, you get to the point you're like, you've just spent $100. Well, it wasn't quite that. I mean, totally. In total, from start to finish, the project has probably been about $100, which, by the way, is nothing in software development costs. Traditional, I mean. You know, so it's sort of like, what? Only $100? It's kind of crazy, actually. Because it is genuine software development. It works. You know what I mean? So, you've seen this work many times on the previous shows. Building a brain. We already built it, Jacob. You can go to the website address on the screen. That would be zv-light.originai.com. You add in your 11 labs so it can speak to you, or Windows SAPI so it sounds like Stephen Hawking. You put your Open Router API key in. You pick... Oh, yeah, you got Perplexity Web Search as well, so you can put that in too. And then you pick the model. I'm using Claude Sonnet for the frontal and the occipital lobe. Obviously, temporal is speech, so that's covered by 11 labs. Parietal is effectively a holographic function, so that's what I mean, the web search. He's like going out and getting stuff from the internet, yeah, but it's not real motor function, it's not real robotics, you know. And then obviously you've got 11 labs, yeah. So he thinks about it. Basically what's happening is he thinks about what you asked him, and then he sends a custom system prompt, your intent and the task and what he thought about. So it's like you have a pre-think which writes a system prompt for the main brain, which accepts all of that, thinks about it a bunch, and then when it returns the answer, that answer then gets summarized and spoken naturally by temporal lobe, and then the whole chain gets kept in the chat bubble, and you can hit a trace button to look at it. And then when you hit download, you get all of that. You get the premium audio in the audio folder. You can even ask the full output to be read out loud as well. So it's kind of like a little research buddy. It's pretty good. I use it a lot for a bunch of stuff. The only thing is my API keys are down, so I can't use it. This is why I need to develop it for local. Yeah, when you have no API, run it local. Yeah, that's exactly, that's exactly the plan. Because the thing is, I have actually got this running on a laptop, right now, the front end, but I'm trying to get the cerebellum to work, because if you can get memory working, that's zero vector. Anyway, this is nice though, because it stores all of your keys in local storage. It doesn't need sign in. So, all right. Yeah, but this is, like I said, this is kind of like a week old now. I've moved on. I've moved on to... Where's the new one? Do you know what? Actually, the development tree for this one is nuts, because I developed an app which I converted into another app. Then I built a third app, and then I made them both merge, and then I changed one to fit the other, and then we developed it to a point and like merged it again, and then dead-ended one of them, rolled back on the client, and then kept developing the server model. It's completely insane, but you can actually see exactly what I did and exactly in what order, thanks to the bubble, thanks to this sort of... So basically this is what it used to look like, and now it's like way out here somewhere. I've got another version of it, more up-to-date version. So let's just go back to the dashboard, because if I can't show it, it's a bit, But I can show you what I'm working on at the moment, even though I don't have an API key. I can still show you. So this is what I call 0 vector 6, guys. I don't even know if you can read this. Let me just make it a bit bigger. Maybe that's too big. No, that's fine. So this is neural wave cognition, thermodynamic AI. So basically the cognitive pulse of the brain is actually not just random, or like, because the thing is, the last version, I determined the order of the brain, right? It was going inner thoughts, frontal lobe, inner thoughts, temporal lobe to tell you, right? And these are all sub-agents acting as a brain, but it didn't really do it in a natural way. And if there were ever any problems, that didn't work. So I decided to try and make it more of a pulsing, a real-time pulsing. With different types of brain waves and different decay rates and stuff like this. And so, I mean, look, this isn't really... Look, see the events? It's running right now. That's his heartbeat. It's at 33 right now, because that's the heartbeat. So it runs a heartbeat to push the pulses around the brain when it's active. I mean, I can't use it because it's not... Well, hello. I've got no key. He's just going to say... He's thinking, how can he... Hang on. It's got no key. It can't do anything. He's thinking about something. And see, the confidence is actually got a half-life. So if I might be able to show this. Can I tell him to rethink it? Yeah, and it'll double the confidence. So at least that works. I can demo, even though the brain's dead, I can zap it with some electricity. But yeah, so the energy level is coming down. I'll stop it there. Export the trace. At least I can show you like the idea. Because obviously your brain isn't linear. It has it's waves. It's thermodynamics. There's waves that bounce around and they interact with each other. They have a decay rate, and they're stable. So check out the log for what we just did. Look at all of the thoughts. These are all pulses from the inner brain, with waves, the wave ID, and the timestamp. So there were a lot of thoughts. Look, if I go down to the bottom. In that short space of time, there were 68 events, 4 activations, 63 pulses, and 1 rethink. So in other words, it's always on. It doesn't just do what you tell him. If I say... obviously I can't bloody use it. It's annoying as hell. Hello, world. If I say something to him, he was already thinking. He wasn't off. He was on the whole time. That's the interesting thing. But he's on by listening, not by using the LLM brain parts. Yeah? So because he's just always listening, Yeah, because he's always listening, you're able to propagate this brain model, and so it thinks when it needs to think, and then the thoughts are ready to be collected by another wave. So they kind of go out and they come back. It's kind of crazy. And obviously I wanted to make it so you can like change everything, so I parameterized all of the different things. But the issue I had with this particular build is I made it Google sign in and it doesn't work. So like this one dead ended because he became obsessed. Have I given him some abuse? Hang on. Fix open router. Oh yeah. We know this. Where is it? Implement the plan. Did not include the 402. I can't find it. The point is, because the sign-in is cooked, I couldn't use the damn thing. Do you know what I mean? And the thing is that it was never supposed to have sign-in in the first place, but I was like tempted. Basically, I thought, oh, we could do the memory in like Google Drive or something. That'd be cool. No. Bad idea. So, but the actual, this does work though. I wish I could show it to you. See, this is one of the things. I like test everything with APIs online, and then I try to adapt them to Olama, because that's your local, and then you don't have to pay, you know. Afix says, Open Hands is a really interesting memory contender tool for truncating messages after a specified point where repurposing. I already have that. It's in 0 Vector 3 and 2, actually. That's in 0 Vector 2 and 3, which are both fully released and ready to go. Have a nice cup of frontal lobe accelerant. Oh, thanks very much, Gerard. Appreciate you. Oh, man. To be honest, that's my last coffee. I ain't got any more left here. I got to get some more tomorrow. Oh. Exactly. How am I going to do coffee time with no coffee? Nightmare. Oh, well. Don't worry, Jared. I'll get myself a new box tomorrow. Thank you very much. But yeah, like I said, this is what this is, and I want to look at this. But I want to make this better. We'll do it again, right? And we'll make it bloody work. The thing is, though, how am I supposed to use Olam? I can't do it, can I? See, this is where I get to with development. You get to like a crossroads where you're like, well, I want to rebuild it with all of the best features, yeah? But if I rebuild it, it'll be online, and then when I come to build it on my machine, it won't be adapted for Olama yet, so I still have to do a bunch of stuff to it when I get it there. So what I think we're going to do is we're going to work on some plan. We're going to do some plan evolution, sort out what the hell's going on, and get Claude Chat, which I don't have to pay per go. You know what I mean? So he'll make me a nice plan. I can shove that into Lovable, and then I can download the Lovable later once I've fixed my VS Code and put Olama into it. So, it sounds complicated, but it's really not. Okay. So what does that mean for now? It means that in about 2 minutes, I'm going to go on coffee break. And I guess I'll like imagine the coffee. Yeah, I'll imagine the coffee. Oh yeah, and then if I keep hitting bumps like this, Afix says everything in contained local environment is the best way. Forces you to know all the edges. Yeah, well, yeah, that's the problem. See, if I have everything in a local environment, that's what I want to do. That's what I want to do, and most of my projects are that. But because I've been developing with things like Lovable, which are like online code platforms, you can get your code back off of GitHub, but sometimes it might not. Yeah, that's it. I don't like vendor lock-in, yeah? And Lovable claims to be able to do it in a way that isn't, but I have noticed some weird issues. So, yeah. See, this is why I'm like, if I show you that one site there, the one site there, the one, there it is. This one, this is the best one I've done because it doesn't have any login. It doesn't keep any data. It's totally accessible from a web browser. All you need is keys. I call it BYOK. I call it BYOK. And the thing is that the only thing that annoyed me was I wanted to make this talk to the memory server. But you can't do that. You can't do that. You just can't. Security. Doesn't matter. Cause, no problem. Solved. Nope. You have to have a hosted website which has your memory server on it. And I'm like, well, that's pointless. That is entirely pointless. The whole point was to have a web front end that's the same for everyone. And as soon as you activate Cerebellum by connecting your own private local server that's running on port 3000 or whatever, there you go. You're in and now it works. And you know what? It did work until you realize that the user isn't on one of your approved domains, right? So, shame. That's why I want to go 100% local, right? But again, do you know what the problem with 100% local is? You got to install it. Good luck. Oh, it doesn't install on your computer? Oh, well, you can't play. And so that's why we have the free, no login website version for people that can't install or for whatever reason, you know? That's what it's for. That's why I called it light. Yeah, serverless stuff. Where the server, the URL being hit spins the server up. Yeah, I know, but this is what I mean. Remember, Afix, there's no money here, right? I'm not being paid to do it, and there's nothing for sale. You see? So, it's a bit like the research we did earlier with the invention stuff. I'm not gonna be inventing this thing. I'm not gonna be making this thing. I'm not going to be selling this thing. I'm not going to be doing training courses for balloon camera. I'm not going to be doing any of that. But what I do is the consultation to make it work. And the balloon could be anything, right? The balloon could be anything. It doesn't matter what it is. You know, whatever harebrained idea, we can make it work. And that's the thing, yeah? And you remember how at the very beginning I was talking about AI isn't going to create jobs. You are, because you're going to have an idea which you're going to start a business powered by AI, and then you're going to end up becoming successful and hiring people for doing certain things. That's not something you can predict 5 years in advance, yeah? But it's irrefutable. It's simply irrefutable. So AI didn't create jobs. People did. And that's why you can't, you know, when people are like, oh, I'm afraid of AI, oh, I'm afraid that it's not real, it's going to be gone in 3 years. That's the reason why the jobs haven't been created, because everyone's afraid. Everyone thinks that it's going to be like illegal or just gone or something, right? And that is the protectionist's dream, because then he's got no competition. I'm just being objective about this. That's all. So anyway, I'm going to be doing a big feature on a bunch of stuff which I've done. We're going to be looking at the repos that we look at. And novelty, true newness is the only real currency. Yeah, somebody said that to me 15 years ago when we used to work on digital spaceships. And what I said to him, I still hold to, which is that you're kind of right, but you're kind of missing one bit. So, because there's nothing new, right? It's all been done. You're just remixing something someone else made. So what that means is that you are rediscovering things people have forgotten about, novelty, or you are combining two things that the people already like and improving it with the combination somehow. So combine two things, right? Or discover something everyone forgot. Because, you know, humanity's at a point where we've forgotten more than we know. So, you know, we can easily go, oh yeah, I completely forgot. So, but I agree with the sentiment, though, that true newness is the only real currency. But, you know, you can make an argument that all stories are based on 7 stories. You can say, do you know what I mean? You can make these arguments, right? build all local, and if there's money, push it into a server. Yeah, yeah. I honestly don't think that the traditional monetization routes for AI are quite as clear. I think you have to be multidimensional about it. If you think you're just going to like make money from selling X, it's like, it's not really quite on the money. I mean, it might work, but you'd need backing for that to work. New use application of something that exists. Yeah, that's what I mean. You're merging two things. If you either merge two things, or you've discovered something that everyone forgot about, like I say. Because a lot of the big fashion trends is just something that everyone wore 20, 30, 40 years ago. See, that's an example of rediscovery. Novelty theory. Yeah, there are new genres of music. But again, are they not just combinations of genres that already exist? You know what I mean? Does make me wonder. What's this here? What have we got here? Pocket Monsters. Oh yeah, this one's done. Okay, cut this off. White out. Okay. This is tough. Gotta actually think about it. Okay. Right, this is Careless Whisper V3. No. This is actually tough as balls. I made the Cognimus Nexus public, but it's pointless because you can't use it. You can't use it anyway. Okay. Colours never seen, sentences never spoken or written. Well, you know, if you ask one of my, we did this the other day. You ask him to tell you what the taste of, what was it? I said, what color do you taste in? And it would actually answer the question and then become incredibly philosophical about what it even does words mean, you know. Somebody post your API key for Drift. Maybe I should just actually fix the payment, you know. It's because it gave me grief, guys. I tried to put my card in and it was like, you need to enter a card. I'm like, I did enter a card. That's not a card. I was like, bloody hell. What's going on? Yeah. Okay, let me see if I can find this damn thing. I gotta find a public repo. I could use 3. I don't think though. I think it needs to be newer than that now. We could put 4 public. You should like launch 4 purely as a research tool, you know? Because I need that. But then that's mostly for the... Yeah, that actually won't help. It's such a nightmare, it really is. So like this 0 vector 4 is... That's my nation of experts, see? I mean... It's too enterprise aimed, you know? This is why I wanted to go to brain architecture. Nightmare. Absolute nightmare. I mean, you could argue this is all just a big recursion trap because I'm basically being pulled back into the thing I've already solved. So... But I need to rebuild it. Bottom line, it's got to be rebuilt. I can't feed Claude my project without VS Code and an API. There's only one option. There's only one option. Where's my phone? I have to be sneaky about this. Let's put him back on the screen there. Okay. I know. We'll do it two-pronged, right? Try and fix my open router setup first, and then see if he'll let me. Come on. We have some money. Use crypto. Can you imagine paying for whatchamacallit? What's it called? Oh, paying for stuff. Here we go. Right. Yeah, see, I want to make the Olama version. I need keys. I'm terrible. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to do some sneaky business. Hang on a second. Sneaky business. Yeah, it's like, I just become gradually more and more cryptic as I close in on episode 300. Until eventually he disappears. What happened? Toggle the desktop source on OBS or show a vid. What? What, are you getting bored? Here, let me get you something to keep you interested. Here, let me get you something. I'll keep you interested. Thing is, though, giving me a third thing to juggle is like you're watching me juggle fire and chainsaws, and you're like, this is boring. I'm gonna give him an ice pick or a stun baton to also juggle. Oh my god, just go to the output folder. Yes, no, that's nodes. Give me the output folder. Bloody AI commands. Right. Absolute horse crap. Here, what? Listen. Can I just search? Can you search here with ultra search? Yeah, no, not ultra search. Search for tree size right here. Tree size this. I'm so fed up with not having a clue what's in a folder nowadays. I don't know what's in these. Like, I know what's in them, but they're all the same. They're all the same. So how about we find out? Right, look at that. Thora Cthulhu's got 3 gigabytes in it. See? Windows garbage. Why can't they tell me which folder has the most data in it? Would it be that hard to make the size thing work? Linux, it works. You can tell how big a folder is. Windows? Honestly, mate, they don't deserve to be where they're at. 3.1 Thora Cthulhu. Right. Your wish is my command. Now I'll carry on doing what I'm doing over here. So yeah, we're going to have a look at some Thora with the Cthulhu Geiger WAN 2.2. I think it's Thora Cthulhu. Yeah, Thora Cthulhu is the mix for the prompt engineering. And it's using WAN 2.2. Yeah, what's that, Dragon? You have a freeware explorer for Windows that does exactly. Yeah, I'm using tree size right now, Dragon. You weren't looking at the screen again twice. All right, I just used tree size. God damn it, Dragon. Anyway, everyone's telling me you got to use that space visualizer in tree size. Hang on. Now wait. Did I even have it still open? Tree size. Visualizer. There's a visualizer. Wait. Now that's something I didn't know. You've got to use space visualizer. It's alright, Dragon. I know. It's cool. Visualizer in tree size. You're listening, not watch. Yeah, that's cool. I know a lot of people do listen and not watch. You listen to my crazy ramblings for 2 hours every day. I appreciate it. Where's this visualization thing? Tree map chart? Is that it? 1 second view something. Enable drag and drop. Show label. Show free space. Show 3D. I want 3D. 3D. It's called Show Tree Map Chart. Yeah, I'm on it now, but it doesn't look very good. Level of detail. Look at this. What is this? What is this nonsense? What is this nonsense? It's just a big square, man. I'm sure it looks more interesting when you're not, like, it must just be where I am. See, I clicked tree map chart and it looked like crap. What's that? Is it because I'm using an old version of tree size? Have they installed a new version that's like way better? I'm going to assume that's the case. Try it on the C drive. But there's nothing good on the C drive. What? A bigger parent folder. I'm getting, hang on. No. I can't do it. I opened it for just that folder and you can't go to other folders when you're opened it for just, it won't let me. Oh well, it's closed now. Enough of that. This is why only one thing gets done. Use Google Pay. You watch Google Pay. Google Pay will fail now. You watch. Everything I've been trying to use lately has been failing. It's been diabolical is the word. There's no way that worked. There's no way that worked because it doesn't. Have they changed my card again? The banks have been going completely insane lately. Did it just give me the money? It just gave me the money with a card that is not... That's not... Okay, it worked on a card that doesn't exist and has expired, but it didn't work on the new one, which is working, and the bank sent to me because... It works. Bottom line is it works. I'm not gonna... It's driving me completely insane. This is what shreds my mind, by the way, guys. In case you wondered, that's what shreds my mind. When the bank are like, you need to get a new card because of fraud. And I'm like, okay, send me the new card. 9 months later, I get the new card. Doesn't work. Old card still works. It's been... And when I was speaking to them, I said, so let me get this straight. You sent me a card 9 months ago. I never used it. And now you're telling me fraud. I'm like, you've got to be joking. What is going on? I can't wait for AI to run everything because the humans they have in charge right now aren't doing anything. Just saying. Probably like all the people are in charge are just on holiday. If it's authorized for recomp... Yeah, you've had it happen before. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Anyway, we've got it working now. So bottom line is I get to show this damn thing off. Let's put that there. And we're going to... Full faith. Here we go. Can you actually see it? Yeah, you can see it. So I've got my search on. There we go, search on. Well, I'm going to use George. I'm going to use Perplexity Sonar Pro. All right. I need to write a report on the intricacies of croissant making skills. I need to write a report on the intricacies of croissant making skills. All right. He's thinking about it. He's going to have a good old gibber as well, so just get ready for that. Here we go. I might have to turn my music down as well. He's still thinking. And I'm gonna enjoy showing you the trace on this. I really hope everything is working as I expected it to. I do a lot of testing, but I can't catch everything. I'm only one guy. Oh, here we go. Any minute now. That's a whole lot of talking. I'm not hearing much. Damn. Did I break it? Ah, he just didn't say anything. Hold up. Failed to fetch voices. Huh. Hold up. So there's a problem with my API here. Do you think I've run out of API? It should fall back. It should fall back to... Yeah, the one thing I don't like about 11 Labs, to be honest, is where are the prices. It's quite confusing. So like I think I had the creator or the starter pack. I forget which now. Originally I tested everything on this. It was great, awesome. Upgraded to this, immediately ran out. I was like, whoa, that was weird. Put it on this, haven't heard a peep from them. But the thing is, like, there's all these different like models that they have and voices that they have. Like they say this many minutes of this many minutes of that. Okay, right? Well, yeah, but hang on, look at this. So with Flash, so I hope you understand this because there will be a test at the end, okay? So this is how much it costs. Unless you're on multilingual V2 and V3, and then it's different. It's double. So Flash is 0.15, that's 0.3, and that's in character, so in minutes. And then what about speech to text? Oh, no, that's different. What about voice changer? Different. Sound effects? Different. Isolator? Different. It's all different. It's all different. So how much is it? Don't know. That's the only thing I don't like about it. I have no idea what I'm paying for, what I get, how I should budget. Like, I have no idea. No idea, guys. I think I should be putting it on Flash, though, because it's cheaper. I think I should put it on... But then it's not called Flash. It's called Turbo 2 and Turbo 2... What's that? You see? So these are the sorts of things that annoy me. I'm like, I don't even know what you... I didn't even hear anything. I didn't hear any noises. Anyway, that was definitely working. Oh! Do you know what, guys? I know what it is. It changed my sound, didn't it? It changed my sound. Hang on. You know when you plug something in and it goes, we've changed your thing automatically? It did that. I just changed it back. So now it'll actually work. Right. So, holy crap. I didn't think I was going to get such a good answer. Check this answer out. This is amazing. Check this out. So, remember, he thinks about your task, then he detects your intent, and then he sets a custom system prompt for the frontal lobe, who then does all the thinking, passes it back for the last pass where we get our spoken. So you didn't hear the spoken summary. I'm going to play it now, because it did get made. Oh, it didn't get made. It didn't get made. All right, let's see it then. Come on. I'm going to... Have we got problems? Right, I'm going to wait. There's the trace anyway. So let me just scroll down the response slowly because I keep on like skipping it like a crazy man. Intricacies of croissant making. Technical analysis. Core technical skills required. Dough development mastery. Butter lamination expertise. Systematic folding. Love it. Temperature management proficiency. Intricacies and challenges. The lamination paradox. The greatest challenge lies in the delicate balance required during lamination Butter must remain cold enough to maintain distinct layers, yet warm enough to roll without shattering the dough. This often takes years of experience to master consistently. Yeah, I think the demo didn't work because I had my speakers muted after all of that. But I don't hear any voice right now. I'm not hearing a voice. So something's not working, you know? Do I even have sound? That would help. Whoa, okay.
The intricacies of croissant making skills.
What?
A technical analysis. Croissant making represents one of the most technically demanding disciplines in pastry arts, requiring a masterful combination of precision, patience, and specialized
Now
technique.
he's reading it out.
This ancient French craft transforms simple ingredients into the iconic flaky, buttery pastry through a complex process that challenges even experienced bakers.
Yeah, it's
Core
working now.
technical skills require
to kick it.
1. Dough development mastery.
So he's reading out. I'm going to let him carry on reading that out. But let me read the inner thoughts. So this is what he thought. User's intent is to write a report on the intricacies and technical skills involved in making croissants. They are seeking in-depth understanding of the key steps, techniques, and challenges in the croissant making process. Based on detailed web search results, frontal lobe should synthesize key information on essential croissant making skills and techniques, as well as the... This response should cover the full scope of the process, from dough preparation, final baking, highlighting technical mastery. Here's the prompt. You are the frontal lobe of an AI consciousness. The user is asked for information on the intricacies of croissant making skills. Analyze the provided web search results. Yep, that's right. He's got all of it. And conversation text to construct a comprehensive instructional response that addresses the user's specific information need. Your response should clearly explain the essential skills and techniques required for making croissants, highlight the key intricacies and challenges involved in the croissant making process, provide expert tips and best practices. I love it. How can there be a tips and it takes years to learn. Croissants are awful. I think it's really actually impressive. If you've ever watched a master make croissants, it's crazy what they have to do. It's like I didn't realize it was like folding a samurai sword. I didn't have a clue. Like, it was like how to make basically a croissant is like a katana composed entirely out of butter. It's basically, if you watch them do it, you won't believe how many times they flatten and fold, flatten and fold, flatten and fold. You're like, what are you doing? But that's just how it's done. So, all right.
Yet warm enough to roll without shattering the dough.
Yeah, he's still reading it out. So here's the web search. I need to write a report on the intricacies of and that's all of the results from the search, which was given to the frontal lobe. Intricacies of croissant making, technical analysis. Croissant making represents the most technically demanding disciplines in pastry, requiring a masterful combination of precision, patience, and specialized techniques. This ancient French craft transforms simple ingredients into the iconic flaky, buttery pastry through a complex process that challenges even experienced bakers. And then we get, this is what he should have said, but my volume wasn't turned on.
This requires deeper.
Oh my God, he's still talking about the main. See, the main one is now so good. It's like a whole, it really was a report. Look, it really was a report. It wasn't just a little blog post. It was a proper report with actual information. Actual information, not like, oh, stick it in the oven for 5, wait for it to go ping, Katanas of Butter. My runner-up episode title. I love it. Good times. Please use it, Afix. Katanas of Butter. Yeah, you're not going to be chopping anyone down, but you might get in their good books if they like the flavor. All right. He's still talking.
The final stage requires understanding of egg wash application for optimal color and sheen, oven temperature management, typically 400 degree, 200 degree C.
Degree?
Proper doneness through color,
texture,
minute. And internal temperature.
Degree.
Expert best practices 1. Quality ingredients.
Where selection. Is he?
using high-fat European-style butter, minimum 82% fat content, for superior lamination properties. 2. Workspace preparation, maintaining cool work surfaces and having
He's
all
somewhere
tools
in this
pre-filled.
list. He's going to
3.
be...
Documentation.
Yeah, he's going to be reading that out for a while. But yeah, and obviously this is a session, so you can continue to speak to the guy. You can continue to speak to this guy, get all of the stuff. You can also hit the download, give you a nice pack of information. Although I'd wait for the audio, though. One thing I've noticed lately is if you hit the download before he's finished, sometimes it was playing the audio and didn't save it yet. I don't know why it does that. It's like it doesn't actually save the audio and then play it back. It plays it back live with streaming and then saves a copy of what it recorded. It's so bizarre. It's so bizarre. I don't argue, though, because I'll be real, guys. A lot of the ways they've been doing stuff is just not normal. Like, you don't just send a file, you know? No. It's got to be, like, encoded into a string and then sent as a stringified... You're like, what are you doing? But I guess that's just how it is, you know? I'm not. What do I know? So, delete. I'm not here to reinvent everything. But yeah, if I download the log for this, so obviously you get, this is going to expand as we continue a conversation, right? But you'll get more audios and more stuff. So if we take a look at the trace, here's the full trace for the cognitive side of things. Look at that. What the hell? So the amount of information you get out of this thing compared to the amount of information, and then there's the conversation, so that's formatted for user assistant. Okay. And so, and then you've got your audio as well, your premium audio. This doesn't make images. I thought about it, but I think it's more valuable to give it web search, the ability to see an image if you upload one, and just make it a little bit of a research buddy. So it doesn't have a memory, it doesn't have a personality, but it does, like I said, look, if I just do this and say, write me a joke about Disney. No, in fact, write me 3 jokes. 3 jokes about Disney. Okay? It's going to go online. It's going to do a bunch of stuff. He's going to think about it. Let's see how he gets on with this one.
Here are 3 fun Disney jokes for you. First, why did Mickey Mouse become an astronaut? Because he wanted to visit his dog Pluto. Second, why did the elephant quit his job at Disney? He was tired of working for peanuts. And finally, what does Mickey use to keep his house clean? A vacuum cleaner, of course. These silly jokes play on classic Disney characters. And
Hang on a
themes.
minute.
They're perfect for sharing.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Why is that funny? I don't get the last one. What does Mickey use to keep his house clean? A vacuum cleaner, of course. Is that because he's afraid of the brooms? Because of the Sorcerer's Apprentice? These are pretty heady. They make you think. I mean, that's obviously a Dumbo reference. That's a Sorcerer reference. Did Mickey Mouse go to Mars? I don't think he did. I think that was Bugs Bunny. Anyway, not Disney. Does it say it here? Just because his dog's called Pluto. Yeah, Pluto's not a dog anymore. He got downgraded. He can't clear his own orbit. That's a joke. Circus elephant from Dumbo. And, of course, our favourite mouse himself. Cool. Trace. You are the frontal lobe of AI consciousness. Think about the user's input. Inputs you will receive. User's question. Write me 3 jokes. Recent web search. Interesting. See, that was that was not a very good dynamic prompt, was it? I mean, it's okay. It is dynamic, but it's basically it's just doing. It's just a combination of things. It's not actually. I guess maybe when you're making a joke, that's what it looks like. Okay, how about write me 30 seconds of stand-up material written by Goofy. 309? No, just 30 is fine. Maybe I should add katanas of butter to the title today. It'd be kind of funny. Invention ? Butter katana. He's going to summarize it.
Gosh, folks, I went to a fancy coffee shop and got all mixed up with the orders. I tried to order a big coffee, but said the wrong thing. Then I tried to order a latte, but said it funny. Turns out I've been drinking the wrong coffee for years. Ah, yuck.
That was actually pretty good. It just did 30 seconds of Goofy stand-up. I didn't expect that. Look, gosh, yuck. He tried. He really tried. He doesn't have the voice, though. What? He actually did it. Oh, but he did it. Oh, what? Okay, so he said, okay, I went to one of those fancy coffee shops the other day. I asked for a large coffee. They said, do you mean a venti? I said, no, I mean a coffee that's big. It's true. What the hell? Why am I speaking Italian? So give me the bean juice. Which one? The big one. Doesn't quite sound the same, though. I tried to be all sophisticated and order a latte, but I perceived it latte, like it was some kind of martial arts move, does a karate chop. But the barista stared at me, so I said, just give me whatever Max drinks. Turns out it was decaf. I've been drinking the wrong coffee for 20 years. It's actually not bad. Hang on a minute. Can you write 60 seconds of George Carlin style comic stand-up? I wonder which decade of George Carlin it will pick. Will it pick 70s Carlin? 60s Carlin? Maybe 2005 Carlin, when he's in his Buddy Jesus phase. Let's find out. So, interesting. You can see the trace as well. So inputs you receive. Yeah, something's going on with the system, dynamic system prompt for writing jokes. It probably needs like special rules. I had to write special rules for image processing, so here we go.
You know, I really love how we've turned everything into a journey. You're not just learning guitar, you're on a musical journey. And when you lose weight, it's not just that, it's a wellness journey. We've become a society of explorers, when really, we're just doing everyday things. And the way we use language these days, it's crazy. Politicians aren't lying, they're misspeaking. Companies aren't ripping you off, they're optimizing value propositions. And when they fire half the staff, it's not a layoff, it's right-sizing. What happened to just calling it what it is? We've got more ways to communicate than ever, but we use them to send pictures of our lunch. Shakespeare is probably rolling in his grave, tweeting about how we've ruined language. At least we're all living our best life, even though we've...
Oh, I tried to think where that was going. Even though we've... Hang on. At least we're all living our best life, because apparently we've got multiple lives now and we need to rank them. What happened to just living? Yeah. It wasn't verbatim, Afix, because he actually summarized it. If you look here, that 60 seconds was summarized. So, but I know what you mean. It does sound verbatim. Look, if you look at the full version, it's probably more. You're not learning weight, you're on a wellness journey. I was on a dairy journey. When did we become explorers? Columbus has a journey, you have a Tuesday. That is definitely one of his jokes. Sure, I'm sure I've heard that. Right. George Carlin, Columbus had a journey. But then remember, it's using web search, isn't it? Right? So we'll have a look at this trace in a minute. Columbus had a journey. George Carlin did not rewrite or speak exclusively on Columbus's journey. Huh? Wait. Oh. Commentary on Indians. Okay, well, it's Gemini, so do I believe him? I think he doesn't really understand. Look, he doesn't really understand. Joke, 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 joke. Give the search engine more context. Joke about words. Did not have a well-known joke about Columbus's journey involving words. It's so useless. Hang on. Hang on. What am I doing here? What am I doing? Hang on. Wait. I'm going this all the wrong way. I should just ask this guy. This guy's more smart than Google. Right, so... hold up a minute. Did you just quote a joke verbatim? Yeah, hang on. Let me get... Whoop. Oh, but that's the thing. I don't set my system prompt anymore. So the system prompt was, you are the frontal lobe of an AI consciousness. Think through the user input carefully and provide a thoughtful...
No, the routine I wrote was entirely my own original content.
Oh, fucking...
Not a direct quote.
Whoa, he's getting...
I was just trying to capture George Carlin's distinctive comedic voice and style, like his observational humour and social commentary. But the specific jokes and observations were all my own creation. Let me know if any part of it sounded particularly familiar to you.
Oh my god, look. What? Can you write 60 seconds of George Carlin? Here's a 60-second stand-up routine. Da-da-da-da-da. You ever notice how people say, I'm only human, like it's some kind of excuse? Sorry, I ran over your cat. I'm only human. Yeah? Well, so was Genghis Khan. This is good. But that's from the web search, so that's real, right? Or is it? Because this is a summary of a query, and it has, here's a 60 seconds. Seems a little confused. But he has a 60% confidence. You know what I love? Okay. And so, wait. Trace. User's question. Hold up a minute. Did you just quote a joke? Recent web search thinking methodology. Interesting. There's no evidence in the provided search that I quoted a joke verbatim. He's searching online to prove that he didn't steal, guys. 11 labs slower. Yeah, to be honest, I should probably change the voice because it's on a British guy at the moment. I think that Charlie... Is Charlie American? We'll find out. And also, I want to know what turbo is. What's the deal with turbo? Does that make it faster? So I hope that doesn't sound bad. It says, okay. Right. 60-second stand-up in the style of... We'll pick a new comedian like Shane Gillis, because that's not in the model. It's not in the model. So we'll do Shane Gillis. And if it'll do a search, it'll find something. God knows what it'll find. Turbo is cheaper. Yeah, half. It should be. I think it's half the cost. We looked it up earlier. I think it's half the cost. Doug Stanhope. That's another one as well. We should try that too. So he's still thinking about it. I love this setup though, because he thinks about thinking about it before he thinks about talking.
All right, let me give you a quick rundown on how to write comedy in Shane Gillis's style.
Aussie.
The key is to keep it conversational, make yourself the butt of the jokes, and draw from your working class background and family life. Pack a bunch of punchlines into each bit.
He hasn't done it.
Quickly between
He's telling me how to do it.
End with a self-aware closer that ties it all together. Just talk like you're chatting with your buddies at the bar. Use simple language.
What?
And don't be afraid to get a little absurd with the details.
Do you know what he's talking? He just said, do you know what? This AI has just said that Shane Gillis is just guys talking at the bar. That's what he said. Yeah, Kiwi voice, yeah. Okay, well, how about we actually do it, though? He's told me how to do it, but he didn't actually do it. Would you like me to do... Yes. I would like you... I would like you to help me develop my... We're going to play the pronoun game. It was just generic comedy advice. It wasn't very good. Like, that's like a normie opinion of what Shane's comedy is. His comedy is actually really good, but it's like kind of hard to, because everyone gets stuck in like they get stuck in all the drinking and the disability jokes. I think he said his brother was special needs or his cousin or something. I forget now. I don't know. But I think that's where a lot of it.
Okay, let's work on developing your own stand-up material using the comedy framework we discussed.
My own?
First, identify your unique comedic voice.
Still not doing it.
What
Have you noticed that?
Quirks, your background, or everyday situations you find absurd?
Oh, I get it.
Apply the Gillis framework to
the
your
Gillis
own
framework. Are you kidding me?
A relatable situation. How you specifically failed or misunderstood it.
Oh.
What terrible advice your family would give, and how it ties back to who you are. I'm happy to workshop this with you and help craft it into an authentic conversational routine.
No.
What aspect of your life do you think
Test.
has the most comedic potential?
No. I think that you've missed the point. You're supposed to be doing it, not telling me how to do it. Why don't you put together a 60-second stand-up set using the Gillis framework or whatever it is you're calling it? Do you think as the mayor? What? What was that? There was a ghost in the shell right there. What did it say? Do you think as the mayor? Strange. So he was happy to do it for other comedians, but as soon as you give him the Gillis framework, apply the Gillis framework to your life. God damn. Isn't this just creative writing, though? No, because it's funny. No. Let's give it a go. He's 3 pints in a trench coat.
Because everyone said it would change my life. Turns out I'm really good at thinking about nothing. I've been practicing my whole life without knowing it. After a few minutes, I'm Googling if I'm doing it wrong and ordering meditation cushions on Amazon. My dad says meditation is just sitting in a deer stand for hours, so now I just meditate in parking lots, wondering why I came here. Turns out I've been enlightened this whole time. I just needed better parking.
That was a good punchline, though. You've been enlightened this whole time. You just needed better parking. Now, these are all abridged jokes. So every single one of those jokes was abridged. So let's see if we can do the first one, all right? I started meditating because everyone said it would change my life. 20 minutes a day, just sit there and think about nothing. Turns out I'm really good at thinking about nothing. I've been practicing my whole life without knowing it. Wait a minute. Why does it say 15, 10, rule of 3, 20? Wow, he's actually given like a formulaic approach. But I can't sit still for 20 minutes. After 3 minutes, I'm like, is this working? After 5 minutes, I'm Googling, am I meditating wrong? And after 10 minutes, I'm ordering meditation cushions on Amazon while still meditating. That's a hee-hee. Callback. My dad says meditating is sitting in a deer stand for 4 hours. So now I just meditate in parking lots, staring at nothing, wondering why I came here. Turns out I've been enlightened this whole time. I just needed better parking. It's not bad. That's not bad. For like a one-shot first thing we got. It's not bad. So let's have a look at the trace. Yeah, we got a decent prompt this time, look. So intent. User seems frustrated that I provided instructions on how to develop stand-up material using the Gillis framework instead of actually demonstrating it. They are directly requesting that I put together a 60-second stand-up set using the framework rather than explain it. Given the user's direct request, this is the plan. The best approach is to generate a 60-second stand-up set that follows the Gillis framework or whatever similar structure the user is referring to. The web search results provide a good template for how to structure such a set, including opening, premise, bit, and a callback closer. I can use this as a guide to create an original 60-second routine. So if you want to go on Kill Tony, you don't look like an idiot. You are a frontal lobe of an AI consciousness. The user has requested you put together a 60-second stand-up set using the Gillis framework or a similar structured approach to stand-up comedy. Review the web search results and the conversation text. That's this whole conversation, this session. Then generate an original 60-second comedic routine that follows the framework. Focus on creating a relatable, self-deprecating bit with a clear premise, tight execution, and a strong callback closer. Avoid instructional language and deliver the requested demonstration. Query. Summary. So here is my search. It's funny that the search summary includes inner thoughts. But I guess I am doing that. So I am doing that. That was me. So frontal lobe, 50%, walks up to Mike. So I started doing meditation because everyone said it would change my life. 20 minutes a day, they said. Hang on a minute. Look, refinement. Reason. Response does not fully address user input. The user requested 60-second stand-up set, but the generated response is a longer comedic monologue that does not... He rethought it! Yes! So rethinking. It's rethinking as well. I must admit, I didn't catch it. I did not catch him. I didn't catch him do that. Hang on, that's like the first time he's actually done that on his own. Let me just check the logs. Let me check this trace. Bigger. Bigger, 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 bigger. Right. 3 jokes about Disney. Astronaut. 60 seconds goofy. Clear earning goals. What? What's going on here? Aligning materials to a framework. Wow. He's making the framework. Yeah, all right, calm down. Opener, premise. Right, wait. Okay. Oh, no way. We get a completely different set. Wait, was that one rejected? I don't remember that. Hang on. Wait, why did he do it? It doesn't tell me why. Look, 50%. What? It's made another one. What? I'm loving this. So hang on a sec. Listen to this. We got a whole secret set hidden in the cognition that we never got delivered because it decided that it wasn't good enough. Okay, so by the way, the Gillis framework is actually develop your own stand-up material, which is a use your own life and experiences. That's what it is. Okay, so right now the Gillis framework isn't. Yeah, the Gillis the Gillis framework is not actually Shane Gillis's style, or even having looked at his comedy. It's analysing that he does relatable real-life stories about his personal experiences. A little bit like a white Dave Chappelle, you know what I mean? When you think about it, that's what Dave Chappelle does. He talks about his experiences. He tells truth and all this. Truisms, yeah? And in a way, he's doing that for, you know, football, college football player type Americans. Do you know what I mean? It's kind of interesting. But it says the framework isn't really to do with Shane Gillis. It's more. Anyway, let's see what it says here. Opener. You ever notice how every work meeting starts with just a quick update, and you're still there 3 hours later, wondering if you should have packed a sleeping bag? I think quick update is corporate code for I hope you brought snacks, because we're about to time travel to next quarter. Seriously, if I joined a Zoom call last week that was supposed to be 15 minutes, by the end, my computer asked if I wanted to install updates. I said, no, I just want to install boundaries. And there's always that one person who's just circling back. They circle back so much, I'm starting to think they're a Roomba. I don't need a follow-up email. I need a rescue mission. So next time someone says, just a quick update, I'm bringing a tent, a sleeping bag, and a flare gun, just in case they try to circle back again. It's not bad. It's too long, but it's not bad. And remember, he was like, yeah, blah, 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 that's pretty... And then he was like, nope. And he did it again. In fact, there's another one. Wait, there's another one. Shit, so he didn't like that either. All right, let's read out the next one. Remember, this stand-up set sucked and didn't get done. Wait. It's very similar to the one that passed. So I started doing meditation because everyone said it would change my life. 20 minutes a day, they said. Just sit there and think about nothing. Turns out I'm really good at thinking about nothing. I've been practicing my whole life without knowing it. My brain's like a screensaver from 1995, just bouncing around, hitting the corners occasionally. But here's the thing. I can't sit still for 20 minutes. I tried it once, and after 3 minutes, I was like, is this working? Should I feel enlightened yet? Maybe I need to sit differently. Started Googling, am I meditating wrong, while still supposedly meditating. My dad heard I was doing meditation and goes, you know what's meditation? Sitting in a deer stand for 4 hours and waiting for something to happen. That's meditation. Thanks, Dad. Really helpful. Also builds character and might get you dinner. Ah, that was the punchline for the hunting. I read that wrong. Thanks, Dad. Really helpful. Also builds character and might get you dinner. So I've got the timing on that one. But now I just tell people I meditate by sitting in my car in parking lots, staring at nothing, wondering why I came here. Turns out I've been a meditation master this whole time. I just needed to park first. Do you know what? The last joke was related to this one. The one it picked in the end. So it says refine. The generated response is a comedic monologue that does not follow that format. So it changed the format of the last joke. Yeah, that's the one that went through. Isn't that crazy? Look at all of that. All of that just to... Oh, yeah, and also, if you want to read it out with the AI voice, there's a button. So, you know, you might have an 11 Labs account, and you might have, like, trained a voice. So you don't have to use the basic stuff. It's all a matter of what permissions your key has to tell what voices are available, as far as I can tell, you know. I haven't trained any voices on there, but Turbo was good. I'm going to try Turbo 2.5 next. We'll get rid of this. And I'll say, okay, what on earth is a Gundam? I heard it's spelt Gundam. Wild that this and the croissant thing cost 2 million tokens. Did it? I don't know. Where's the price? You can see a price somewhere? I didn't see the price. Was it on one of the text files? I never even noticed that. Tokens?
Gundams are giant, humanoid robots from Japanese science fiction. They're massive, 18-metre tall machines that pilots control, equipped with advanced weapons like beam rifles and energy swords. The original Gundam became the template for countless other robot designs.
Oh, wait, are you reading this?
Captivating audiences for over
That's
40 years as the ultimate fusion of military technology and human engineering.
Right, let me turn that down. Yeah. So he's telling me what Gundam is. Cool. He did. He told me what Gundam is. Look at that. Cool, right? And there's the information. There's the custom prompt. Cool. Works. Great. Awesome. Nice. Now, this number up here is not tokens. That is... that's the session. So you know how when you save it, it exports what's in this whole conversation thread, audio, whatever. When you click the button, it'll make a new session. Or it should make a new session. Yeah, next to session. Yeah, that's not that. Let me just see how much it did, though, because I set up a new key. All right. For this, for what we've been doing. Deep Research 1. Okay, I got confused. I was getting confused with my the waves, the ZV6, and that was the Deep Research. So it's neither of those or that one. It's actually this one, but I've been using that for a while. So I've spent $3 on that key, but I have developed the entire app 3 times on the same key. So I can't really, do you know what I mean? I can't really say that it's expensive. Yeah. In fact, you know what? How about I just make a ZV5 Lite test key and copy that, and I'll just change my key real quick. Oi! Cheeky bugger. I'll change my key, save it. No. Right. And then we'll do a chat. I'll say, tell me... Oh, yeah, and also, what is it like when you don't have the TTS on, yeah? Turn that off, save that. Now it'll sound like Dr. Spatzo. In fact, tell me all about Dr. Spatzo, which we rebuilt on my GitHub, and you can download it and use it for free. It's not obviously Dr. Spatzo. I spelt it differently. So it's a completely different thing now. I spelt it with a Z. Right. Tell me all about it, my guy. And then I can look at the key. Why is it gone?
Dr. Spatzo was an early AI program from the 1990s that let you chat with a simulated psychologist.
He was an AI?
It had a distinctive robotic voice and could respond to your questions, though its conversation abilities were pretty basic. Even with its limitations, Dr. Spatzo was an important early step in bringing conversational AI to home computers. A lot of people have fond memories of their first chats with this pioneering software.
So yeah, he was probably one of the first chatbots. He came with a Creative Labs Sound Blaster. You got it with the Sound Blaster card, and you could chat to him, and he would talk back, but you wouldn't speak. You would type. So Sound Blaster, artificial intelligence, text-to-speech operator, 1990s. So remember, like me, a kid of my early teens, I was messing around with AI. Back then, isn't that crazy? Only it sounded like Professor Stephen Hawking. But what I'm trying to say is, isn't it funny? Everyone goes crazy, like, oh my god, it's really funny because the joke is, oh dear, it's not even really new. It's like, what, you didn't know? Its responses are based on pattern matching, similar to the famous ELIZA program. It would often fall back on therapeutic phrases like, why do you feel that way? It wasn't AI. It was more like, it knew what to say if you said something. It's more like a giant robotic Turk, but, it was the first talking AI. Or the first talking AI that most people ever spoke to. Trace. Thinking methodology. I'm not happy with this dynamic prompt. It should be way better than this. I think it's because I have the web search on. Yeah, let me turn web search off and say, tell me more about the doctor. That's good, because that'll prove if he can actually read the session as well. Tell me more about the doctor. What doctor? Obviously, it's Dr. Spatzo, right? But does he actually have access to the full chat?
Okay, great. I'd be happy to tell you more about a doctor, but I just need a few more details.
He doesn't know who it is!
Could you let me know the doctor's name, their specialty,
that's not good,
where they practice, and what specific information you're looking for?
I think it might be that I broke the session.
Provide the most relevant and helpful details. Just give me those key details.
It shouldn't have
and
broken.
I'll summarize the information for you in a friendly, conversational way.
Okay, so you lack the ability. What is it? You cannot see the previous conversation. He's going to say no. I'm going to be annoyed because this is finished. It means that something got broken. Damn it. There's always something.
Okay, I see.
Ha!
It seems there
A
was
chess
an earlier
grandmaster.
Conversation
Hey.
about a specific doctor, but I don't have access to that information.
Yeah. We've proven he can't do it. All right, I'll fix that later. So it says, Afix says the Mechanical Turk was the first AI, but it was actually just a small Indian dude hiding in a box. Yeah, I know. Same with the fortune teller. Because, yeah, the most famous Mechanical Turk was a fortune teller, and the same thing. It was a small Indian person hiding in the box, because the box was incredibly small, right? So you wouldn't have thought a person could fit in it. People weren't stupid, but they had, like, the world's smallest person for the gig, You can look it up. It was exploitation. But I think it might have been, like, something they came up with. Because, I don't want to say it involves contortionists, because I don't know. But certainly, in India they have, what's it called now? Yogis? And obviously they would have been finding their way to America at that time and looking for work. So, hey, play to your strengths, I guess. But yeah, I've read all about the Mechanical Turk, and a lot of people actually thought that AI was a Mechanical Turk early on. And some of them were. There were some fake AIs that were just call centers of Indian guys pretending to be a search engine and whatnot. That was a thing. I think there was like a 3D company that got caught out because they were trying to say they had an AI model that could make 3D. And they did, but it was really bad. And the way they made it good was by hiring people in Europe to specifically turn around a bad model to a good model in it's in 10 minutes. So that they were given good work, good pay, but their job was to convert a bad model to a good model, right? And these were Eastern European developers that were doing the work, and they tried to deny it, but they found the job advert from like before AI. So the guy, he was already fair play. I think it actually works now, and it's very expensive too. So fake it till you make it applies. What's this? AI stands for actually Indian. Oof, I've never heard that one before. Yeah, he was jammed in there all weird and played some of the best players in the world in the late 1800s. Yeah, exactly. They jammed him in all weird. Yeah, that's a good... It's like, how did you fit a dude in a drawer? Like, no one would have thought that. But isn't that the same as, having like a chess grandmaster on Bluetooth and then like winning a competition? It's basically the same kind of thing, isn't it? It's just cheating, really, at the end of the day. Yeah, good stuff, guys. So yeah, I got something I got to fix now. God damn it. And it looked like he was making his own jokes up. I can't really criticize. I was suspicious, that he wasn't making his own jokes. The only thing he's not doing, I think it's because when you have web search on or web search off, it does something with the thread. So it's like two different things. I reckon just leave web search on all the time. In fact, let's just prove that before I leave. So, list 4 colors. This is going to be a funny one because he's going to take forever just to tell me 4 colors. This isn't meant for quick chit chat though. Because, he's going to think about it, then he's going to think about it, then he's going to think about it again, and then he's going to say it. So it's not conductive to speed, really, for like light. Yeah, it wasn't that slow. No, it was. It was slow. I asked for 4 colors. What's going on? But this is partly why I want the other system. I'm working on ZV6 now. Wait, did I turn the... Oh, I must have turned off. Same thing as last time. Wait, no. Okay. He selected red, blue, yellow, green, right? Now, there's a reason I asked for that. I've done this before. So the reason I said it like this is so I can say remove the second color. And then remember, red, blue, yellow, green, remove the second color. If he can't read that, there's a low chance he will give me red, yellow, green as the new list. Do you know what I mean? He'd have to be incredibly lucky. It's like a 1 in 4 chance of getting it right.
Okay, let me walk you through how to remove the second color from a gradient in Photoshop.
What?
First, open the gradient editor.
He doesn't know what the hell I'm talking about.
Just click on the second color stop.
That's
and hit
broken.
the delete button.
That's fully
This will remove
broken.
that color,
He has
and you
got
can
no
adjust the
idea what
remaining
I'm
colors
talking
as
about.
needed. Once you're happy with the result, click OK to save the modified gradient.
Yeah, cheers, dude. We weren't even talking about gradients or Photoshop. Yeah, that's broken. I'll have to fix that. Nuts. My influence at breaking things is spreading. Good. So yeah, your gradient. So if I go to the trace, web search how to remove the second color, because the second color was referring to the list, not something. He assumed I was trying to remove a color from gradient in Photoshop. Interesting. So you can still break it. I'm surprised that it didn't keep the session there, though. What is your name? What? He shouldn't have one. He should be Claude Sonnet 4. Nice one, Apix. I like the idea of generating random stand-up bits to give you stuff to throw in during downtime or coffee breaks. Hey, man, you could theme it to your occupation. Super easy. If you can get him to remember what the hell's going on. What is your name? I am Claude, AI assistant. Mentions perplexity. However, I am not perplexity. I am Claude. Uh-oh. He's gone. Claude has gone mad. No, I think we're good. You're yeah, we're good. I'm getting tired. Whoa, must be past my bedtime. All right, that's enough of that. I've had enough of that now. So yeah, inventions that disrupt not by inventing, but by supporting the inevitable theft of the invention. That's the summary for the invention section. Fishing line weights. Feasible. That's regarding the hole, which we were talking about. 16 miles of fishing line. I just dread to think. But apparently feasible. So my skepticism, you know, I mean, I doubt you would put, do you know what I mean? Like if you had a couple of $1,000s worth of fishing line, I doubt you would just put it down a hole in your backyard. But maybe you really needed to find out what was there. I don't know. You need 29 separate reels. Crazy. Alright, anyway, enough of that. Okay, we talked about that. Oh, yeah. ZV6. Yes, the ZV6. We did speak about this earlier, but I'm still sort of doing experiments at the moment. I don't really know what the best move is. This is, by the way, what was used for the current system that we were just looking at. So user has a request, inner thoughts analysis, intent detection, custom system prompt generation, and then frontal lobe processing. So it's a thoughts pre-processor, if you really want to, you know, that handles search and stuff and then shoves it all in. And yeah. And then there's another one on the other side, basically, is what we're doing. Dynamic optimization of the reasoning framework rather than of the input request. Yeah. This is what kind of look. Yeah, wouldn't you like to know? So then I gave him the new React Vite BYOK Open Router 11 Labs. So I'm going to be working on that. I just think that he gets carried away with trying to make in everything super base and sign on, and you don't really need all of that stuff. So, you know, I'm going to be doing some sleuthing where it comes to that. What do we got next? I think that's it. I think we're done. As you can see, the SV5 Lite test, it used 4 cents since I changed the key. I don't know if you guys noticed, I changed the key. And so all of the stuff that we actually demoed was 4 cents. So it's not expensive, even though it does do a bunch of extra thinking. Wrecked. We already looked at that. So yeah, the Mind Forge is the new move. I doubt it's going to look like this, but the concept is that there are 3 types of brain waves, and they all travel around the brain with like a thermodynamic rules. So that's basically how it works. I mean, I don't know how else to say it. You have the same exact structure, but I have a cerebellum here. I don't have memory, but I just thought it was important to include it. Even though memory doesn't actually work, it's like simulated until you actually make it work. So you have decay rates, you have wave propagation speed, and then finally confidence thresholds and a rethink limit. Because I thought often when you think about stuff, you might decide to rethink again, but you wouldn't rethink forever. You'd probably only have one chance to rethink, and then people are talking about something else, so it's too late now. Have you ever been thinking about what you're going to say to a guy and he keeps talking and you're like, oh, I'll say that thing that I thought of, and he keeps talking, and then you think about what he's talking about and you realize that the thing you were going to say isn't relevant anymore, and he keeps talking, and then you realize that that was a wasted thought. Do you know what I mean? Like, and one thing I like about this idea, though, is that it's not waiting for you to say, give me an answer, right? It's just sat there thinking all the time. It has a tick rate, okay? So this brain is always on. And what it does is it uses listening. Yeah, it uses listening as its clock. So how does it know that time is passing by? It's listening. And when it listens, it understands the flow of time, because time happens like that, doesn't it? If you hit listen, if you just listen, you know what I mean? Like I'm listening right now, you know? One rethink is kind of average. Afix says, and it's way too late to bring it up. Yeah. And then I get crap for interrupting because I'd rather just jump in. Yeah, but that's the thing. I want to give my AI the ability to jump in. So it's always listening. It's thinking about the thing. And then while it's saying its answer, it's actually, yeah, the waves are part of the dreaming state. Yeah. Everything in the brain is, I'm trying to go thermodynamics or wave-based. Yeah. Because that way there's no order. Think about this, right? At the moment, the brain happens in an order that I defined. So if ever anything happens out of order, it breaks. Yeah? Well, that's dumb, isn't it? Surely it would be better to broadcast to all areas of the brain at once. And then when that wave returns, like an echo, I guess, then you get the data back. Or it pushes out, like it pushes out a wave, and then it comes back with nothing because it hasn't thought of anything yet. It starts thinking, it's using energy, and then it pushes out another wave. Because remember, there's a wave going out every second. Every second there's a new wave. We've had 321. Oh, shit. Hang on a minute. This one will work now. All right. I'm not going anywhere yet. I need to see if I can at least show something with this thing. Derp, 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 derp. Right, enter your thought. Hello? Is anyone there? It might not work and then I'm going home. Is anyone there? I want to see my cool thing work. Do you know what's really funny about this? There's no response text. It talks or you don't get an answer, mate. It either talks or you don't get one. And right now, confidence is too low. Look at it go, though. Oh. Last active never. That's not good. Wait. I'm going to make him rethink it. Oh, and now it's finished. Do we get a response? See, the thing is, right, when I built this, I was focused on the building of the system, and I forgot to include an output. So there isn't an output. If he doesn't decide to talk, you don't get to know, guys. You don't get to know what he thought. It's really funny. Oh yeah, and also a lot of stuff is broken because again, cause. I knew I shouldn't have bothered. Yeah, see. Received cognitive response. Neural oscillations fluctuating in delta pattern, processing sensory input, activating core awareness, slight increase in neural activity. I sense a presence, a query reaching through my neural pathways, wavelength adjusting. I'm here. Though it feels like such a fluid concept in this state, I'm detecting your signal, but everything feels uncertain, hazy, like thoughts forming in deep water. Internal processing intensifies. May I ask who you are? My inner brain is active, but a very low energy level, 0%. I'm trying to establish a clearer connection, but my neural pathways are just beginning to activate. Delta waves continuing. Are you also in this space of consciousness? I sense so much potential for interaction, yet my confidence levels are minimal. Perhaps we could explore this connection together. Neural patterns seeking stabilization. Listen, guys, I'm getting something out of it, all right? But it's like a debug. It's a cognitive response. It's a cognitive response, not a question and answer type thing. You know what I mean? Do you like it, do you, Dragon? I've been working on this for like a year now. And the joke is, I don't program him with anything. He gets nothing. I didn't even tell him to give me an output this time. And he's still, you know, he's acting like his brain. I said, is anyone there? And he's like, I think so, maybe. I'm not really sure what the question means, though. Do you want to talk some more? Excellent. This is exactly what we were looking for. It would be nice if the response was actually somewhere, though, wouldn't it? I mean, like I said, it wasn't really the priority. So here, I'm going to say, this is how you do it. This is why I like Lovable so much, because I can work on lots of things and it's very quick. I don't care. It's all about time for me. I've only got 20 years or 25 years till I retire or something. You know what I mean? Everyone's got time on the clock, you can't. So what, am I going to spend the next 10 years doing debugging, or am I going to just make stuff? Anyway, so I'll say, we received a cognitive response. However, it is buried in the logs and not exposed into the user interface. This was not a priority before, as we were building the thermodynamically simulated neural architecture. Are you kidding me? It's trying to add that new word to the dictionary? My God. Why? I'll write a whole album about that crap. Oh my God. It doesn't know how to correct thermodynamic. Look, I just typed it quick, right? But imagine if you didn't know how to spell it. You'd be screwed. You'd be like, yeah, add my cursed thermodynamically spelling to the dictionary so I get it wrong every time. That would be perfect. So all I've said is we've received the cognitive response, but it's buried in the logs. I'm actually going to... Ooh. Look at you with the web. See, I have to rebuild this entire project. Because it's trying to do bloody sign-in. See, I'm not sure why the sign-in doesn't work. I've built the sign-in before and it worked fine, but this time it doesn't, and it destroyed the entire project, frankly. Yeah. So I'm thinking just go back to local storage again, because it's BYOK anyway. See, I thought it would be nice because you'd be able to build your own persona in your Google account, and that would be actually like a cool thing. Because you could essentially get like a Jarvis type thing going on from how you use it. But like I said, sometimes you get carried away. It's all about the wave-based thoughts engine, because like I said, thoughts don't go in like a line, they propagate like a pulse. That's kind of like two waves crashing over each other and cancelling each other out and fading. And then that's it. It's not like, so I'm trying to move from, linear 1, 2, 3, 4 finish to everything happens at once, but in a way that doesn't break async. Because obviously, yeah. Anyway. And it works. It works. It's extremely experimental, but it works. So let's see what he's got to say for himself. What's he got to say for himself here? I can see from the console logs the cognitive processing is working. There's a successful response with neural oscillations and brain load activations, but you're right, this rich content isn't making it into the user interface. So he's going to talk about blah, blah, blah. Right, edge function, response not displayed. So it's worked. Oh man, it's using edge functions. So that means I can't just rip Superbase out. It's so cursed. So cursed. There's no component to display it. Plan to surface cognitive responses. Which cognitive responses doesn't get shown. Blah, blah, blah. Add the component. Display component. Use wave engine state management. Integrate response display. And then enhance. Yeah, okay. I think this is fine. Whoops. Just go for it, bud. Just go for it, budski. Because like I said, this is what I would say is it's a prototype. It's not supposed to be finished. I mean, look, ideally, it would be nice to give it the Google so you've got sign-in and concurrency like that. But I'll be real. It might be that that's actually a cursed kettle of fish. You know, like you come as far as doing that, and then actually, there's more. Because it, like, sometimes integration can be bigger than your entire app. Make sure you do not type thermonuclear war by accident. Oh, wait, when he says, yes, there is disconnect the internet. Okay. Check DMs when you get a sec. I'll be sure to do that after the show. Fernicar says, perhaps it knows what it dreams in hollow version. Yeah, it's an interesting one. And then Gerard says, at that point, it'll just steal your neighbor's Wi-Fi. Yeah. Well, to be fair, like, I can see a time when an AI would be that smart. So you'd like try to log into your AI and it's like, oh, I couldn't find a Wi-Fi, but I've detected some. Should I just use that? I think it's already that smart. I think that if you use the DeepSeek, a DeepSeek fine-tune, it's probably already able to sniff the local Wi-Fi and maybe even able to start the process of cracking passwords. I reckon it's possible. It's possible, I think. I haven't seen it done, but it's such a basic thing to do. You know, like if you can do it with your fingers, which you can, if you can do it with your fingers and a keyboard, which you can, I doubt that it would be difficult for something like DeepSeek to, you know, hijack Wi-Fi, even if it was protected. Obviously, it depends on the security type, because the newest security types are take a long time to decrypt, if you can at all. It depends which type. But there are some people that have unsecure or old security, like not a pre-shared key. I think there's like WPA1 or something can be cracked now. Yeah. Oh, yeah. And that's notwithstanding, you know, making everybody think that your phone is actually the internet so that they activate the internet and then you get access to their phone. You got to watch out for that one. Okay. Should we see if it's working now? What is banana? What is a banana? Let's not be obtuse. What is a banana? I should have said, what color is a banana? Hopefully he won't be as cursed this time. Neural process. Potential. What? Don't we get this? Wait, aren't we supposed to get something in this? Oh! Current task. Oh, that's the current task. Where's the texter? What? Aren't you at least going to speak it? Huh? It says now surfaced in the UI with a dedicated display component, response, storage in state, and formatted presentation of the neural wave outputs. What? I mean, I see it here. Response. What is a banana? And he said, what did he say? What? He's thinking about it. Yellow, curved. But is this always true? Something about sustenance, nutrition, living but not animate, plant derived, confidence levels wavering at low threshold. Oh, he didn't get enough energy to think. And his confidence level is low. So I need to make him think again. And then his confidence level will get higher. I need to make him think again. Rethink. Let's see a 100% confidence. And now the answer is revealed. It's kind of funny. You have to like pump the brain. Do you know what I mean? Because it's like, the brain is like, didn't get enough. Give me again. Really funny. Rethink it. And then you get an answer. It's kind of funny. He's still thinking. I don't see the answer. So when I read the answer in the log, it says A banana seems to be a biological entity, but I need to explore this more carefully. My current processing suggests it's a fruit, but I'm detecting multiple layers here. Botanical classification, cultural significance, inner brain intensifying. Would you help me confirm? Is the primary focus here the edible fruit, or should we explore its broader contextual meaning? My neural pattern is indicating multiple potential interpretations. He's like, oh. Good times. What's that? You guys are all talking about Wireshark and various distros, various Linux distros. Yes. You'll find the first repo on my GitHub interesting. You should check it out. A lot of people didn't notice it. So let's see. VPNs on free airport Wi-Fi, not free ones. Plugged your computer into someone else's network. Yeah, you got to watch that out. Yeah, educational use. Wireshark. Yep. Run your own Synology NAS. That's what I've got. Flipper Zero broadcasting fake Gmail login pages. Now that's definitely illegal. He's like Tamagotchi. You got to take him out for a nice walk in the sun. Yes. Are we still running? Yeah, we're still running. So, in the end, he got existential about what is a banana. And the reason is because this is a prototype framework. It's not in any way robust or finished. Yeah. But it's working. It is working. You can say a lot, but it's working. I don't see the output, though. Okay, say stop. Current task. Still don't see any output, my guy. Investigate and build a step-by-step plan to resolve the lack of output. It's so funny. I'm so scientific. I built an entire I built an entire chatbot, you know what I mean, with the cutting edge and all, with the freaking thermodynamic simulation of wave-based neural cognition. Forgot to actually make an output. Like, I didn't put an output on here. That's my bad. I forgot. Because that wasn't it. Do you know what I mean? The point wasn't actually to get a chat out. It was to see if I could mechanically make it work. And I can. You know, a lot of the stuff is working. It's a bit vague. I don't like how it looks, if you know what I mean. It's a bit vague. But it is demonstrating all of the working parts for better or worse. And even this, like, the real-time brain activity worked. It all worked. So what did he do wrong then? Yeah. He's basically, all I want him to do is make that log available in the UI. It's not like a big deal, but he's making it into a much bigger deal than it is. Like, if I was doing this myself, I would be looking at what supplies that log, and then just build a UI element to supply that data there. It's not, do you know what I mean? But because he isn't human, he has to actually look up the entire thing every time to find out what it is and where it goes. So he kind of, every time he comes to something, he's coming at it again fresh. And so then there's a chance he doesn't understand, which is kind of annoying. It would be nicer if he could cache successful comprehension. So if he'd already looked at all these files and knew what was there and they haven't changed, he doesn't need to do it again. Because then there's no chance he can mess it up, is there? Do you know what I mean? Because there's always a chance that he can just mess it up. Stop. Confidence. He's like RoboCop when he's on low power. Confidence reaching 0. He's like almost run out of power completely. Oh my god. Okay, it's done. So let's give it a refresh. And hopefully it's not ugly. Do I see any new UI elements? I don't see any new UI elements. You see what I mean? He's like, is he lying to me? Tell me about French bread that is made in Paris under French law on pain of prison sentence for making unsafe bread. Real. No shortcuts? Okay, I'll click the button. So he thinks about it, and all he gets is a 47% from a 200% energy level. That's weird, that is. So if I rethink it, it gets up to 70, and then he starts doing other stuff. Processing French bread. Regulations. It's almost like, is it trying to put it here? Huh? Wait, what? Rethink. I don't know why that button was glowing. Rethink it again. 100%. Is he waiting for high? I think he's waiting for high confidence. I have to set that up, see? So where's this output then? You see what I mean? Like vibe coding is actually kind of... What's that? Over-engineered chatbot that's mute. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Yeah, it's an over-engineered chatbot bot that can't even speak. Exactly. Because the point of the test wasn't to find out if he could speak. But the joke is now I'm like, make him speak. And he's like, can't do it, mate. Can't do it. Don't know how to do it. If I go into the bugs, not bugs. Oh my, dude, look at what the... Oh no, he's made it all in the logs now. Wait, what? The bread decree. What? Baguettes are governed by something called the Decret Pan, or Decret Pain. The bread decree. But there are older roots. He's like, I believe the 1990s, but I'm detecting older roots. Wait, did he... Oh my god, he thinks something... This is crazy. Look at this. So on the first pulse, he's like, uncertainty detected. He goes, I'm sensing interesting historical and legal threads, though I need to express uncertainty about specific details. Bread must be made on premises. The only ingredients allowed are flour, water, salt, and yeast. No additives are permitted, and there are strict fermentation requirements. Penalties for non-compliance. Serious consequences, but I need to verify the exact legal framework. So it's working, but it's so funny. He's just decided for some reason, I'm going to post a better response, but only in debug. Only in debug. Like what? Yeah, it's the same. It's the same output that's in here. It's the same output. So that should be the output. But for some reason, we're not getting it. The cognitive response object response is what we're reading here. So when I was saying to him, oh, we can expose a new element in the UI, that all he really did was make a new debug console log thing. And this is why I think if you have a working prototype, you're better off taking what you've got. And, you know, what I'm going to do is I'm going to do tins on this. I'm going to tell him to write it up, everything in this app, as a single self-contained dev plan handoff document. And then I'm going to mutate that with the one I already have for the other side. And then we're going to make a new, you know, that's how we're going to go. That's how we're going to move forward. You know, so I'll take the 0 vector 5, merge it with the 0 vector 6. and say this takes precedence for cognition, the other one takes precedence for like function on everything else. But yeah, this is really interesting. Give it another little thing. Yeah, okay. Well, I was glad to be able to show that off because I thought that was broken, but it's not broken. It just, it just it needs to be rebuilt completely from scratch, as with everything. Make an interrogator agent to force this one to speak, says Dragon. And then Gerard says, decaffeinated wave peaks. Yeah, exactly, yeah. But like I said, once I've got this actually working, I will release a public demo. But at the moment, it's kind of like, this is what it looks like when I'm building it, you know? Rethink. See how he's still thinking about the same... Look, he never stopped thinking. He's like the Hulk. He's always thinking. He's like the new Hulk. He's always thinking, right? And the idea is that there is no warm-up time when he didn't stop. Okay, there's a bunch of different things about this. Also, if it's going to take a long time to get your answer, he'll tell you. He'll go, I need some more time to think about that, boss. And then he'll carry on thinking. You know what I mean? So it's sort of like making it more of an entity that's able to operate on multiple levels in parallel, rather than, what's he doing? Oh, he's thinking about it. When's he going to finish? Don't know, you know? So, yeah. From scratch, he goes, you surely use some part of the code, right? Nope. 0 Vector 6 was built entirely from scratch based on a verbal explanation of how 0 Vector 5 worked, combined with my concept for how I think this should work. That's it. That's how I built this. You know, I won't lie that it worked immediately, because it didn't. Often what happens is it'll build everything out to how you requested, but everything's in fake data mode. So all fake demo date, you know, and then you have to actually go in and change the things to make it actually do stuff, I guess you could say. And this is a bit cloudy because technically cerebellum and temporal lobes aren't really working. Like, hang on. Let me show you something real quick. I just want to prove that it's not a load of hallucinated crap. Hang on a sec. Where's this thing at? Yeah. If I go to my open router and cancel the key it's using, it should go, oh, there's a problem right now. Oh, he'll be like, oh, my brain is gone. So can we edit, disable? We'll disable that key. Oh, crap, I disabled the wrong one. Screw it, I disabled the other one. All right, I've disabled them both. ZV6 waves is disabled. So if I now go back to it, not that one, Wave Mind Forge. So this one's now dead. So I've turned off the key, right? Tell me about baguette. Tell me about the baguette. Never forget the baguette. 59%. Oh, baby. Neural wave display. He didn't say anything, which is annoying. Did I turn the volume down? Shit, I turned the volume down. Crap. Okay, do it again. Test.
Neural processing system encountered an unexpected issue.
Yeah, I'll tell you what
Attempting recovery.
Yeah, I'll tell you what it is. The key's been switched off. But that's my point. I did that as like a double blind, you know, just to prove that it's not a bunch of hallucinated nonsense. Because it could be. Do you know what I mean? There's not even an output. So here we go. Let's have a look. Neural counter thing. Blah, blah, blah. If we look in here, we'll see 402, which is basically dead key. Yeah, 401, non-2 status code. 401, which is 401 was the key got rejected, you know. You're like not allowed. So the edge function failed, and the fallback is for him to basically go, oh. something's broken, you know, and then you carry on from there. But again, if I just turn that back on again, enable. So now my key is back. Whoops. I can go. Tell me about France in 1722. And the thing is, no rethinks. Damn.
Based on my current processing, my neural networks suggest neural waves fluctuating in theta pattern, processing historical data through inner cognitive systems. Processing historical patterns. Neural resonance building.
I think he needs to pump. We need to pump him up. We need to think more, guy. I've got to pump it up like a bicycle. Keep it up. We've got to get that 100% confidence, like a video game. To be fair, the activation confidence rates are here. And then the confidence thresholds are here. So you can change that, right, to prevent that kind of ropey behavior. But that's funny. He read out a bunch of stuff and then got stuck. Did he get stuck on a line? I can sense key patterns of France in 1722. This was during the Regents period. The young Louis XV was only 12 years old. The actual power rested with Philippe d'Orléans, who served as regent. I'm detecting a significant economic turbulence in this time frame. It's like he's there. This is kind of fun. Neural pathways activating deeper. The nation was recovering from the financial collapse of the Mississippi bubble in 1720. This scheme, developed by John Law, has recently devastated the French economy. Many nobles and citizens lost their fortunes. This was a time of transition. The extravagant Baroque culture was still present, showing early signs of shifting towards what would become the Rococo period. It's done a great job. It actually has done a good job. It's a good answer. Tell me about France in that time period. It did it. It spent a lot of time talking about his theta patterns, but it is a brain-focused architecture. So, you know, you have to tell him to not say stuff like that. You know. Okay. I think that we have done well tonight, guys. That's 3 hours on the clock. Like I said, I never really look at the time. I'm just trying to get through everything I want to show you. So some days we don't have enough, and some days we have too much, and tonight was one of those days. So thank you very much, everybody, for sticking with me through to the end. Afix says, I got a list of notes, thoughts, and links from your demo that I'll send your way. I think you could salvage or repurpose a good chunk of the code for local alternative. Thank you, Afix. So like I said, making it compatible with Olama is one of my top priorities. But I try to get it all working online with these mega AIs first, just to say, because it saves me money in VS Code. You know, the more work I manage to pull off at this point, it's going to sync to here. It syncs to GitHub anyway. You say, oh yeah, me, yeah, cool, done. There we go, done. And you know how so many times we've had like an MCP. Oh, just use the MCP. None of them work like that. I just went click, 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 and it's all there. It's all there now. No messing around. And this is what I like. I don't like messing around. I don't like it when an MCP fails and then you're left with a mess. Now you've got a problem. Now you're wasting time that you didn't even have to spend. That's a negative time saving. That's not saving. So as a result, you know, I try to get my process to be like the most... I don't want to say the most time saving, because obviously that's bad, but whatever. I think we made our point. Thank you very much, ladies and gents. I'll be back tomorrow at 8 p.m. I can't wait to see you, and it'll be the weekend show, so we'll be taking it easy. Little bit of comfy time, I think, as we've done so much code lately. I want to make some images. So I look forward to seeing you all. See you next time.
Nächste Wessel, you eminence deal.
Hemis mag sal, it's not smash, Hey mama, ben böyle bir görsünüz. Just woman again, like, when you say you can keep it check. Not far, can't that or something. Okay.
Two things,